Chapter 862. Along the way, the soul-chasing bees had explored everything. Except for the place where the soul-chasing bees died, there was no trace of the enemy. This fog brought great trouble to Wang Daoyuan's exploration, but it also provided him with excellent cover. He was probably in the southwest of the island. He went all the way to the northeast and soon came to the place where the soul-chasing bees died. There was a mountain range more than 40,000 feet high here, but it was unknown how long it was. Wang Daoyuan's divine sense could only explore the situation within 100 miles, and the puppets could only explore the situation within 500 miles. The length of this mountain range was obviously more than 1,000 miles. The two sword puppets pushed the compass to the extreme, but they couldn't detect any traces of living creatures. Wang Daoyuan activated his divine power domain, covering a radius of 600 miles. Unfortunately, his divine power domain was not strong enough. Although it could ignore the clouds and mist in this range, the mountain range in front of him and the underground rock formation still couldn't be penetrated. After using the divine power domain to explore for a long time, he still couldn't find anything like a demonic beast. Unfortunately, he didn't bring Dahe. After breaking through to Tier 4, his sense of smell had also improved greatly. Nothing within 3,000 miles could escape from his nose. If the demonic beasts didn't show up, he couldn't do anything. Now he was sure that there was something powerful on this island. Although Wang Daoyuan was very confident in his strength, it was easy to dodge an open spear but hard to guard against a hidden arrow. If he didn't catch these rats hiding in the dark, he didn't dare to rashly go deep. Although it was not a problem to deal with several great demon kings at the same time by relying on the divine power domain. But if 5 or 6 great demon kings came out, he wouldn't even know how he died. Even if 20 or 30 Tier 5 low-grade demonic beasts came out, it would be enough for him to suffer. The enemy was in the dark, and he was in the light. This was too disadvantageous. He put away the flying boat and the 2 puppets, put on the black magic robe, and hid his figure. He still carried the Wasp King with him to control the whereabouts of the soul-chasing bees. More than an hour later, the Wasp King said, "Master, my children found a large area of ruins more than 10,000 miles to the northeast. These ruins are in a valley, and the area is very large, covering an area of 300 miles. There are defensive formations in some parts of the ruins. A few more children were killed near the ruins." After receiving this information, Wang Daoyuan felt more confident. This place should be where the mountain gate of the Valley of Beasts was located. After all, it was called the Valley of Beasts, so it had to have something to do with the valley. Such a large scale was in line with the standard of a large force. Wang Daoyuan was overjoyed that there were still some formations in the ruins. The more central a sect was, the more powerful the defensive formation would be. When facing an external attack, it was also the easiest to preserve. To a force, the most important place was the treasury and the place where the inheritance was stored. The places protected by formations in the ruins were most likely these two. However, Wang Daoyuan did not dare to go there rashly. There was a formation there, and it was possible that the Valley of Beasts had left something behind. A few more soul-chasing bees were killed near the ruins, indicating that there was more than one wave of hidden enemies. It was unknown what the relationship between this group of enemies and the Valley of Beasts was. If they were not in cahoots with the Valley of Beasts, it would be easy to handle. If they were in cahoots with the Valley of Beasts, he might be surrounded and beaten up if he went there rashly. Moreover, Wang Daoyuan could now be sure that nothing had happened in the Yen Kingdom. Although this place was very far from the Yen Kingdom and he could not perceive the situation of the clone there, he could still perceive the general situation of the clone. If the clone died or was seriously injured, Wang Daoyuan could still sense it. If there was neither, it meant that the other side was safe. He was not in a hurry to go back, so he took his time here. After clearing the periphery, he went to explore the ruins with the formation. "Bee King, let those soul-chasing bees retreat. Now that we know where the target is, there is no need to fly around, lest we lose too many." The Bee King obeyed and ordered all the soul-chasing bees to return. An hour later, all the soul-chasing bees flew back. Wang Daoyuan kept most of the soul-chasing bees in the space of the spiritual pearl, leaving only 100 or so to search around the mountain range. He wanted to see if the guy hiding in the dark could hold back. The soul-chasing bees searched nearby. When they encountered caves, rock crevices, and other things, they would burrow in to investigate. No matter how good the opponent was at hiding, they could always find clues. Wang Daoyuan continued to wait here. In a competition of patience, how could he lose to a few demon beasts? Unless the demonic beast was a tortoise, it wouldn't be able to hold on for long. After waiting here for a day, the demon hiding in the dark finally could not take it anymore. The Bee King sent a voice transmission. Master, more than 150 kilometers to the east, one of my children was killed. Wang Daoyuan immediately activated his divine power domain. At the same time, he used the sky-piercing sword escape and turned into a silver light, flying towards the east. The moment the divine power was activated, the target was locked on. This was not a demon beast, but an inferior grade tier 5 refined corpse. This refined corpse looked a little strange. It looked like a wolf, but it had wings. Since it was already a refined corpse, he could only use the methods of refining corpses. There was no point in dwelling on its bloodline. Although this guy had wings, after becoming a refined corpse, its speed was far from when it was alive. The silver light that Wang Daoyuan turned into quickly caught up. When he got close, he wanted to use these clouds to condense the Gui water divine thunder. But he did not expect these clouds to be difficult to control. It seemed that the area around the Valley of Beasts was really a little strange. Wang Daoyuan could only use his spiritual power to condense an almost transparent water ball. After the water ball left his hand, it caught up with the refined corpse at an extremely fast speed. The refined corpse's consciousness was extremely weak and did not notice that the water ball had directly merged into its body. After a moment, it fell to the ground, completely losing the ability to move. The core of the refined corpse, the corpse core, had already been shattered by the Gui water divine thunder. A refined corpse without a corpse core was like a Yuanying cultivator without a Yuanying. Only an empty shell was left. Wang Daoyuan was very satisfied with the power of the Gui water divine thunder. As expected of the 5 elements divine thunder, it did not consume too much spiritual power to finish off an inferior grade tier 5 refined corpse. Naturally refined corpses were extremely rare and could only be formed in a place with natural yin energy. Obviously, there was no such terrain nearby. Since there was a refined corpse, there was a 99% chance that it was specially refined by someone. This refined corpse should be one of the backup plans left behind by the Valley of Beasts. After finishing off this refined corpse, Wang Daoyuan did not destroy the flying wolf refined corpse. Instead, he hid himself again and found a new place nearby to continue waiting. If this refined corpse had an owner and he killed one, there would definitely be people coming to investigate. It wasn't a bad choice to wait here for the rabbit. Indeed, after he finished off the flying wolf refined corpse, another refined corpse flew over. This refined corpse was in the form of a human and had a mid-grade tier 5 cultivation. He went to the place where the flying wolf refined corpse was killed and checked it out. With a hoarse voice he said, Tier 5 Gui water divine thunder. Could it be that the successor of the 5 thunder supreme god has arrived? Which Dao Yu has come to visit the Valley of Beasts? Please show yourself. The refined corpse that the disciple of the Valley of Beasts had turned into was another 50,000-year-old dumpling. Since they could communicate, it was fine to ask for information. Human Junior Cultivator, Wang Daoyuan of the treasured tripod lineage of the Divine Weapon Pavilion, greet Senior. The refined corpse looked at Wang Daoyuan. Treasured tripod lineage of the Divine Weapon Pavilion. When I was still alive, I had some relations with Divine Lord Golden Cauldron of the treasured tripod lineage. Meeting you this time can be considered as meeting a junior. After I turned into a refined corpse, I am not very sensitive to the passage of time. How many years have passed? Divine Lord Golden Cauldron was indeed one of the ancestors of the treasured tripod lineage. He was a figure from more than 50,000 years ago. Senior, it has been more than 50,000 years since Ancestor Golden Cauldron passed away. Chapter 863. Before he finished speaking, the refined corpse suddenly exploded and charged at Wang Daoyuan. He quickly turned into a silver light and dodged the refined corpse's attack. Senior, why did you sneak attack me? The refined corpse snorted. I am close friends with the Golden Cauldron's spiritual master. I know the treasured cauldron's legacy. Even if there were changes in the past tens of thousands of years, the roots are still the same. There are always similarities. And your aura has nothing to do with the treasured cauldron's spiritual master. How dare you lie to me? Your sword technique should be the Tai sword sex silver light escape. The Tai Sword sect is also a top force and has no grudges with the Valley of Beasts. If you came as a disciple of the Tai Sword sect, the Valley of Beasts would have treated you well. But you lied to me. You must be up to no good. Judging from his judgment and attack speed, this refined corpse's ability was not weak. Senior, you misunderstand. My master, the Thunderflame Spiritual Master, is the leader of the Treasured Cauldron Spiritual Master. Because he has the Purple Thunder Divine Flame Battle Body, and I am a Penta Spiritual Root Cultivator. Our techniques are not compatible, and I already have a suitable technique of all 5 elements. He only took me in as a disciple in name. His disciple is my younger brother, who also has the Purple Thunder Divine Flame Battle Body. Plus, the legacy doesn't mean anything. After he finished speaking, his left hand turned into a dragon claw. He smiled and said, Senior, what do you think of my true dragon physical conditioning technique? A smile appeared on the refined corpse's stiff face. Although you have only cultivated a part of the true dragon physical conditioning technique, it is indeed the legacy of the Valley of Beasts. Could it be that there are still branches of the Valley of Beasts left in this world? Wang Daoyuan shook his head. 50,000 years ago, the demon beasts wreaked havoc. All the branches of the Valley of Beasts were destroyed. After the 4 major forces quelled the demon race, there were no more forces that used the Valley of Beasts as their banner. There were quite a few forces that learned a little bit of the Valley of Beasts' legacy. These forces' legacies are very ordinary, and there are only a few that exist. For example, the Thousand Spirit sect focuses on beast taming. I also once obtained the beast taming inheritance of the Thousand Spirit sect, which is exactly the same as the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts. It was just that the Thousand Spirit sect's cultivation method was not very good. Their inheritance should have been an incomplete copy of the Valley of Beasts. In addition, there was also the royal family of the Zhou nation who possessed the Phoenix bloodline. I heard that it has something to do with the Valley of the Beasts. The core technique is the Phoenix Nirvana technique. I wonder if it has anything to do with the Valley of the Beasts? Hearing this, refined corpse nodded. The Phoenix Nirvana technique is one of the core inheritances of the Valley of Beasts. The ancestors of the Zhou family should be from the Vermilion Bird Hall in the Valley of Beasts. To be able to preserve the core inheritance means that the Valley of Beasts is still alive. Hearing this, Wang Daoyuan finally found a way to get close to him. In that case, we can be considered a family. My Dao companion is from a branch family of the Zhou clan. My son has even awakened the Vermilion Bird bloodline. The cultivation technique he cultivates is also derived from the Phoenix Nirvana technique. At this moment, Wang Daoyuan thought of Long Yuntian's request. If not for Long Yuntian, his master would not have been able to form his nascent soul. He was afraid that during the last demon riot, the human race would have been wiped out. He took out a golden book and a token. Senior, may I ask if you are an elder or a sect leader of the Valley of Beasts? Refined corpse nodded. I am indeed an elder of the Valley of Beasts. Back then, I was also a soul formation cultivator. In order to resist the demon beasts, I turned into a refined corpse. Wang Daoyuan passed the golden book and token to him. In that case, I have completed my task. I met Long Yuntian at the Purple Gold River branch. In order to resist the demon beasts, he refined himself into a living corpse. When I met him, his soul had already dissipated. Only a wisp of his will was left. This golden book contains the whole story of the invasion of the Purple Gold River branch. Before he died, he asked me to pass it to the elders or sect leaders of the Valley of Beasts. In addition, he asked me to pass on a few words to you. He said, I, Long Yuntian, have guarded the Purple Gold River branch and have never lost. I, Long Yuntian, have not let down the sect leader. When Refined Corpse heard this, he actually let out a few cries. Unfortunately, there were no tears. Junior brother Yuntian was extremely talented. It was only a matter of time before he broke through to the soul formation realm. At that time, the sect leader had already planned to transfer him back to the sect, help him break through to the soul formation realm, and pass on the position of sect leader to him. Unfortunately, he met with great chaos. Such a genius actually fell just like that. How is he now? Wang Daoyuan did not hide anything. More than 100 years ago, I went to the Purple Gold River to look for opportunities and found the Purple Gold River branch. I fought with Senior Long Yuntian and defeated him. Senior Long Yuntian knew that he could not escape death, so he asked me to pass these things to the sect leader or elders of the Valley of Beasts. He also asked me to scatter his ashes in the purple gold river. He wanted to follow the river back to the sect of the Valley of Beasts. Hearing this, Refined Corpse's face revealed anger. He wanted to attack, but he did not. After a long time he sighed. Forget it. Junior brother Yun Tian entrusted these things to you. It can be considered that he was sincerely convinced by you. His soul is no longer there, only a trace of obsession left. You killed him and helped him to be free. Rather than living like a ghost, it would be better to die and be done with it. I won't say much about this matter. I just want to ask, how are the demon beasts outside now? Wang Daoyuan replied, what happened 50,000 years ago did not affect the west of the heavenly/mountain range much. It's just that the branches in the Valley of Beasts are gone. More than 10,000 years ago, the heavenly/mountain range degenerated into a peak tier 4 spirit vein. The human race no longer had Yuanian cultivators and was also suppressed by the demon race. Before the spiritual energy density recovered, the tier 5 demon race that was sleeping back then woke up again. I also killed a few. Previously, I even killed a peak tier 5 demon king. The remaining 2 demon kings came to the human race to ask for peace. We were not confident of winning, so we agreed first. The human race's cultivation speed is fast. In a few hundred years, we will be able to suppress the demon race. Now the Yen kingdom that I founded has replaced the Valley of Beasts and is guarding the heavenly/mountain range and the East Sea demon race for the human race. By the way, Senior, the demon race has been suppressed by the human race for 10,000 years. The Valley of Beasts should be much stronger than the Divine Weapon Pavilion and other forces. How was it destroyed by the demon race? This was not a compliment. The inheritance and scale of the Valley of Beasts were indeed above the other 4 top forces. Refined Corpse nodded. You are young. Without a tier 5 spirit vein, it is already a miracle that you can cultivate to the late Yuaniing stage and take down peak tier 5 demon beasts. Guarding the heavenly/mountain range for the human race and also obtained part of the Valley of Beasts inheritance. You can be considered the successor of the Valley of Beasts. These things are nothing. There's no harm in telling you. More than 50,000 years ago, there were no Mahayana cultivators in Beiyuan Xiuxian. The concentration of spirit qi had also dropped to the peak of tier 6. In the depths of the heavenly/mountain range, an evil dragon obtained some kind of opportunity and passed the heavenly tribulation of dragon transformation. At the same time, its cultivation broke through to tier 7. With its strength, the human race in Beiyuan was in danger of being exterminated. The responsibility of the Valley of Beasts is to guard the heavenly/mountain range and the East Sea and suppress the demon race. Naturally, we could not stand by and watch such a thing happen. The sect master led most of the experts in the sect and wanted to kill it before its cultivation stabilized. The sect master also found the evil dragon. After a great battle, the evil dragon escaped with injuries and went into hiding. A few hundred years later, the evil dragon led a large number of demon beasts to besiege the Valley of Beasts. The azure dragon, vermilion bird, white tiger, and black tortoise halls guarding the mountain gate were all lost. They had no choice but to retreat to the mountain gate. I was the black tortoise hall master at that time. 80% of my disciples died in battle and the defensive array was completely broken. I only brought the participating disciples and the inheritance of the black tortoise hall back to the mountain gate. The evil dragon did not give up. It led many demon beasts to attack the mountain gate of the Valley of Beasts. At that time, the sect master and the elders used a secret technique to kill this demon. They activated the peak tier 7 Dharma artifact guarding the mountain gate and killed the evil dragon. The sect master and the other elders have all passed away. Wang Daoyuan landed on the ground and bowed. I can be considered the leader of the human race today. On behalf of the human race in Beiyuan, I thank the ancestors of the Valley of Beasts for protecting the human race. Chapter 864. The refined corpse waved his hand and said, The Valley of Beasts was once the leader of the human race. It's only right that we protect the human race. After we killed the evil dragon, the demon beasts he brought turned the entire Valley of Beasts into ruins. The sect master and the elders passed away. The spirit beasts they left behind were influenced by the demons and betrayed the Valley of Beasts. The disciples of the Valley of Beasts were all slaughtered. The remaining cultivators turned into refined corpses to suppress the demons. With the help of a grade 7 magic weapon, we were able to kill all the demons. Now, we're the only ones left in the Valley of Beasts. At this moment, another 3 refined corpses suddenly appeared. It was unknown whether they were friend or foe. Wang Daoyuan hurriedly used Silverlight Escape to distance himself. The advantage of Silverlight Escape was its extreme speed. It was most suitable for instant use to avoid sneak attacks. The escape techniques Wang Daoyuan had mastered before were not as fast as Silverlight Escape in terms of speed. Of course, its flaws were also obvious. The Silverlight Escape's endurance was too poor. It could only travel a few dozen miles in an instant. With the cultivation of a Yuanian cultivator, flying a few thousand miles with other escape techniques was not a problem. One of the refined corpses, who was thin and had a long sword on his back, said, "You're using Tai Sword Sect's Silverlight Escape. You've comprehended the Tai Sword Diagram's Origin Restoration Sword Intent. None of those idiots from Tai Sword Sect could comprehend this sword intent. Looks like you're not from Tai Sword Sect." Wang Daoyuan was stunned. Even the people from Tai Sword Sect did not know about the Origin Restoration Sword Intent. How did this guy know? "Senior, how do you know the name of my sword intent?" The refined corpse smiled and said, "One of the ancestors of the Valley of Beasts, Supreme Divinity Jade Dragon, was a good friend of Sword Immortal Guiyuan. There's a Origin Restoration Sword diagram left behind by Sword Immortal Guiyuan in the Valley of Beasts. I was the head of White Tiger Hall when I was alive. White Tiger Hall is mainly sword cultivators. The Origin Restoration Sword diagram is under my care. This sword intent can hide from others, but not me. Unfortunately, there is only one Guiyuan sword illustration. The disciples of the Valley of Beasts are unable to comprehend the Guiyuan sword essence in it." Wang Daoyuan generously admitted, "I obtained some fragmented books on comprehending the Guiyuan sword intent, and then I went to study the painting of the Tai Sword Sect. 100 years ago, when the demon race was in turmoil, I was lucky enough to comprehend the Guiyuan sword intent. The only place where the demons can still cause trouble is Heavenly Devil Valley. That place is closer to the place where Sword Immortal Guiyuan passed away. You were able to comprehend the Guiyuan sword intent there probably because of the help of Sword Immortal Guiyuan's relics. Back then, Guiyuan's Sword Immortal severed Ancestral Dragon Mountain with a single strike. The severed dragon tail was the current Heaven/Mountain range, and the Heaven-decimating abyss was formed as a result. This sword strike had slain all of the Earth Immortal Realm experts of the Devil race. Sword Immortal Guiyuan had also reached the end of his life, passing away in a seated posture within the decimating Heaven abyss. The might of Sword Immortal Guiyuan's legacy was too great. It could destroy the Qianyuan world. The ancient powers destroyed most of Sword Immortal Guiyuan's legacy. Along with it, a large number of ancient secrets were also destroyed. My Valley of Beasts has divine Jade Dragon's protection. So many ancient secrets have been preserved. However, they cannot be casually spread. Since you were able to comprehend the Guiyuan sword intent, you might be the only successor of Sword Immortal Guiyuan. My Valley of Beasts will naturally treat you with respect." The Black Tortoise Hall Master interrupted. "Old Ghost Vermilion Bird, this junior said that there is a faction that seems to have been established by a Vermilion Bird Hall disciple. Does your Vermilion Bird Hall have a disciple with the surname Zhou with the Phoenix bloodline?" The Vermilion Bird Hall Master pondered for a long time. Back then, a few halls near the southern wasteland were attacked. My Vermilion Bird Hall sent some disciples to reinforce them. Among them, there was a disciple named Zhou Tianpeng with the Phoenix bloodline. He was the grand disciple of the sect master, Divine Golden Rock. His talent wasn't too good, so he wasn't valued. It was only because his Purple Mansion phenomenon was the Golden Rock that the Divine Golden Rock taught him a few moves of the Golden Rock Wrestling Dragon technique. Although he wasn't ranked, he was indeed a direct disciple of our Valley of Beasts. Hearing this, Wang Daoyuan hurriedly said, "I'm the son-in-law of the Zhou family. I learned a few moves of the Golden Rock Fighting Dragon technique from the Zhou family." With that, his body transformed into a silver rock. Seeing the silver rock, the 4 refined corpses revealed mixed expressions of joy and sorrow. The Vermilion Bird Hall Master nodded. "I didn't expect to see the Golden Rock Fighting Dragon technique after so many years. It seems that my Valley of Beasts still has some descendants." At this moment, the black-haired refined corpse spoke. "I'm the Hall Master of the Azure Dragon Hall. You have a dense dragon aura on you. Have you cultivated the true dragon physical conditioning technique of the Valley of Beasts? I have indeed cultivated it. The technique I'm currently cultivating is based on the 5 elements technique, combined with the Beiyuan Sword Immortal's legacy and the true dragon physical conditioning technique. The Vermilion Bird Hallmaster had a trace of doubt on his face. You have a strand of red hair that exudes an extremely pure vermilion bird aura. You should have the vermilion bird bloodline. Logically speaking, you should have the vermilion bird avatar. Since you've cultivated the true dragon physical conditioning technique, you should have the dragon avatar. You're also a cultivator with 5 spiritual roots. Could it be that you have the 5 elements divine beast avatar? Wang Daoyuan didn't hide anything. When I first opened my purple palace avatar was the 5 elements divine beast avatar. The 4 hallmasters looked at each other and the black tortoise hallmaster said, the 5 elements divine beast avatar is extremely rare in the Valley of Beasts' tens of thousands of years of history. You're qualified to inherit our Valley of Beasts' legacy. You took the risk to enter the Mirage Fog Sea for the legacy. However, we can't hand over the Valley of Beasts' legacy so easily. If you can't satisfy us, you can forget about obtaining the legacy even if you kill all of us. The Valley of Beasts had many backup plans. Wang Daoyuan didn't dare to barge in. Senior, please state your conditions. The Black Tortoise Hallmaster continued. Firstly, bring the descendants of Zhou Tianping over. After all, they're the last descendants of the Valley of Beasts. We want to see the descendants of the Zhou family. It's best if you bring your son over too. The vermilion bird bloodline is extremely rare. Even when the Valley of Beasts was at its peak, if the concentration of the bloodline was high, he was qualified to be the vermilion bird hallmaster. If he could awaken the Nanmingli fire, he would be a candidate for the sect master. It would be extremely beneficial for him to be guided by the vermilion bird old ghost. Secondly, let us see your purple palace avatar. You said it's the 5 elements divine beast avatar. You have to let us see it. Wang Daoyuan was in a difficult position. It's not a problem to bring my son and the Zhou family over. However, the 5 elements divine beast avatar is troublesome. When I formed my nascent soul, the 5 elements divine beast avatar transformed and formed Yinglong. Although it still has the 5 elements divine beast's abilities, it can't be separated. The 4 hallmasters' expressions changed drastically. The Azure Dragon Hallmaster exclaimed, Yinglong's avatar is a mythical beast of primordial legends. It's the only one in the entire Chenyuan world. Generations of ancestors in the Valley of Beasts have only heard of it but never seen it. Quickly release it. With Yinglong's avatar, who cares about the 5 elements divine beast? Wang Daoyuan summoned Yinglong and let it circle in front of the 4 of them. The 4 of them sensed the power within and remained silent for a long time. After a while the Azure Dragon Hallmaster said, although we have never seen Yinglong before, its power far surpasses the 5 elements divine beasts. Its appearance is similar to the legends. The 5 elements divine beast is already the top among the divine beasts. To be able to surpass them, it should be the legendary Yinglong. Junior, do you know the legend of Yinglong? Wang Daoyuan answered, I only know that Yinglong is one of the strongest beasts in the primordial era. The 5 elements divine beast are his descendants. I don't know anything else. The Azure Dragon Hallmaster stroked his long beard stiffly. After all, it's a primordial legend. Only a few words have been passed down. Only one Yinglong has appeared in the Chenyuan world. It was formed by the ancestral Dragon Mountain's dragon vein. Yinglong is the ancestor of the dragon race. The ancestral Dragon Mountain got its name because it gave birth to Yinglong. It's powerful and can be called one of the strongest in the primordial era. The full name of the winged dragon should be the Dragon of Fortune. It was a symbol of the fortune of heaven and earth. Since you can awaken Yinglong's avatar, your providence must be extremely high. By the way, you should have interacted with those people from the Archaic Mysteries sect. Have they seen your providence? Chapter 865. Wang Daoyuan only knew that Yinglong had obtained the 5 elements qi of heaven and earth and was extremely powerful. There were only a handful of primordial mutated beasts that could be compared to him. He didn't expect Yinglong to have something to do with providence. It was even nurtured by ancestral Dragon Mountain's dragon vein. His predecessor, Ling Zhu, was also the result of countless years of nurturing by ancestral Dragon Mountain. If that was the case, he and Yinglong were blood brothers. It wasn't surprising that he had Yinglong's phenomenon. Wang Daoyuan nodded. I was seen by the Archaic Mysteries sect cultivators in the early years. They were Yuanying. After I broke through to the Purple Palace realm, the Archaic Mysteries sect cultivators saw it again and were very shocked. Ever since I broke through to the Golden Core realm, they didn't dare to look. The Vermilion Bird Division Master smiled and said, "These juniors of the Archaic Mysteries sect are smarter than their ancestors. They know when to look at someone's providence. With the Dragon of Destiny, the providence on one's body has reached an extremely terrifying level. If they casually looked at your providence, it would be guessing the heavenly secrets. They would probably be punished by the heavens. The higher your cultivation level, the stronger your providence. You really do seem like a son of destiny." Yinglong's phenomenon is even more extraordinary. In the legends of the primordial era, there have been many sons of destiny. However, I've never heard of any son of destiny that has anything to do with Yinglong. Wang Daoyuan was somewhat puzzled. He had never heard of the son of destiny. Seeing his puzzled look, the Azure Dragon Division Master explained, "Every time a son of destiny appears, it means that the world is about to suffer a calamity. The son of destiny is nurtured by the world to deal with the calamity. Furthermore, there is more than one son of destiny every time. These sons of destiny kill each other to vie for providence and opportunities. The final victor will have the entire Chen Yuan realm's providence on him." The previous son of destiny was Sword Immortal Guiyuan. He was an itinerant cultivator and his talent in the Tao of the Sword could be said to be terrifying. He had never joined any sect or received any guidance from any senior expert. He had comprehended his own Tao with just some shallow sword cultivation heritage. The self-created Guiyuan sword intent is also unique among sword cultivators. In that case, there really were quite a few people who were like the son of destiny. He didn't know much about the Sea of Seven Stars. Swordless Spiritual Master and Xian Zhouxiao were in Beiyuan. The swordless sage's talent in the Tao of the Sword could be said to be terrifying. Even he would find it difficult to surpass him in terms of Tao comprehension. Xian Zhouxiao had the stellar battle physique and his Purple Palace anomaly was the Yin-Yang compass. This talent was similar to the Celestial Arcanum sect's founder, the Yin-Yang divinity. The Yin-Yang deity was a figure from more than 100,000 years ago. According to the Yin-Yang compass artifact spirit, he was still alive. After living for more than 100,000 years, there was an 80% chance that he had ascended. Taoist Master Shen Tian could have said, "My son Zhou Shao has the bearing of an earth immortal." Wang Daoyuan wanted to continue to fish for more information, but the Black Tortoise Hall Master smiled and said, "Junior, you are quite clever, but don't probe any further. Talking about such things is divulging heavenly secrets. You will easily be struck by lightning." He took out a white jade token and said, "This is the entrance token of the Valley of Beasts headquarters. With the token, you can sense the location of the Myriad Beast Island in the Mirage Fog Sea. Bring the Zhou family over as soon as possible and let us see the successor." Wang Daoyuan took the token and cupped his hands at the four hall masters. "Seniors, please wait for a few days. I will go back and invite the Zhou nation's Grand Emperor here." The Vermilion Bird Hall Master even shouted, "Bring your son here too. I also had the Vermilion Bird anomaly back then. I can give him some pointers. Perhaps he can awaken the minor divine ability of the Nanmingli fire." With the same Vermilion Bird anomaly and a special physique, it was possible to awaken different minor divine abilities. It could be the Nanmingli fire, or it could be an ordinary fire-controlling divine ability. It could also be something like the Inferno space. Wang Daoyuan's Vermilion Bird anomaly did not awaken the Nanmingli fire. It was just that the divine abilities of the Five Elements Divine Beast anomaly fused and became a domain-type divine ability. He naturally hoped that Wang Mingchen could awaken the Nanmingli fire. This was one of the best divine fires in the entire Chenyuan realm. The only ones that could compare to it were the True Sun Fire and the legendary Nine Nether Samsara Flame that existed in the cycle of reincarnation. Fire-controlling divine abilities and Inferno space were incomparable to the Nanmingli fire. "Senior, don't worry. I will definitely bring Mingchen over. Goodbye." With that said, he boarded a superior-grade Tier 5 flying boat and headed west. It took him an entire day to reach the westernmost end of the Purple Gold River Valley. He did not go into the underground cave again. Instead, he put away the flying boat and passed through the astral wind layer. Soon, He returned to the vicinity of Mount Serene. As soon as he returned, he saw Yun Yi and Wang Minglong sneaking around the source of the Nether King River. Upon closer inspection, he realized that the two fellows were secretly eating the spirit herb seeds he had planted. He condensed 2 water balls and smashed them on their heads. I have urgent matters to attend to. I will deal with the 2 of you later. The 2 fellows were given a fright and hurriedly dove into the water to hide. The flying boat took a little more than a day to arrive at the capital of Zhou country. Zhou Jingyuan and Lord Linjiang came out to welcome him. Wang Daoyuan said directly, "Skip the formalities. I have urgent matters to discuss with Uncle Feng Yi. Quickly lead me there." Seeing that he was in a hurry, Zhou Jingyuan hurriedly led him into the imperial palace. Soon, they arrived at an underground secret chamber. Taoist Master Feng Yi was waiting here. "What brings you here?" Wang Daoyuan did not answer. Instead he asked, "Uncle Feng Yi, may I ask if the Zhou family's patriarch is Zhou Tianpeng, a disciple of the Vermilion Bird Hall in the Valley of Beasts?" Taoist Master Feng Yi was stunned. Only the Zhou emperors and their successors know about this. Even the 4 major factions only know that my Zhou family is related to the Valley of Beasts, but they don't know the details. How do you know such a secret? Wang Daoyuan replied, "The Vermilion Bird Hall Master in the Valley of Beasts said so. I went to investigate the Valley of Beasts and met the Vermilion Bird Hall Master. When I was trying to get close to him, I mentioned the Zhou family. Now they want to verify if the Zhou family is the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts. Since it is, then bring the belongings of the Zhou family's patriarch and follow me to the Valley of Beasts. There will be many benefits for you." Hearing this, Taoist Master Feng Yi's face was filled with confusion, but he did not ask further. "Wait for me for a while. I'll go find the ancestral relics." With that, he left the underground secret chamber. 15 minutes later, Taoist Master Feng Yi returned. "I've already brought the relics of my Zhou family's first-generation ancestor. Is there anything else you need?" Wang Daoyuan waved his hand and said, "There's no need for anything else. Let's not waste time and go over as soon as possible." The 2 of them took a flying boat to Qingli City and brought Wang Mingchen along. Then, from the 10,000 Rivers River Valley, they went out to the ocean and headed north. With the token, they were not afraid of getting lost on the Thousand Beasts Island. After flying north for more than a day, they arrived at the Thousand Beasts Island again. The 4 hall masters were already waiting at the southernmost point of the Thousand Beasts Island. The flying boat landed and the Vermilion Bird Hall Master quickly said, "I didn't expect you to come so quickly. It's only been 5 days and you've already made a round trip." Then, he looked at Taoist Master Feng Yi. "You must be the descendant of Tian Peng. Have you brought his relics?" Taoist Master Feng Yi cupped his hands and said, "Greetings, Hall Master. Greetings, Hall Master." With that, he took out a token, a long sword and a long robe. The Vermilion Bird Hall Master took these items and examined them carefully. After a long silence he said, "These are indeed Tian Peng's belongings. When he left the Vermilion Bird Hall, he was wearing these clothes. Good. The incense of my Valley of Beasts has not been cut off." Taoist Master Feng Yi quickly said, "My Zhou family has 2 ancestral temples. One is for the ancestors and the other is for the ancestors of the Valley of Beasts. The Zhou emperors have never forgotten that they are disciples of the Valley of Beasts." The 4 hall masters made a gesture of wiping their tears. Unfortunately, there were no tears. The Vermilion Bird Hall Master nodded with satisfaction. "This little guy is Wang Mingchen? His Vermilion Bird bloodline is even higher than mine back then. It's a pity that I was unable to awaken the Nanmingli fire. My Valley of Beasts has put in a lot of effort into the divine ability and Purple Mansion phenomenon. There's still a high chance of helping you awaken the lesser Nanmingli fire." Chapter 866. Wang Mingchen couldn't help but feel a little scared when he saw 4 mid-grade 5th-grade corpses that were said to have once been soul formation cultivators. However, he still suppressed his fear and took a few steps forward. He bowed and said, "Thank you for your guidance." The 4 hall masters were very satisfied with his etiquette. The Vermilion Bird Hall Master nodded. "Not bad, you have guts. Cultivators aren't afraid of having poor talent. Heaven will always leave a way out. Even the worst talent has a chance of survival. What we fear the most is a lack of courage. Cultivation is about seizing the fortune of heaven and earth and invading the mysteries of the sun and moon. If you don't even have the courage to fight for your life, no matter how good your talent is, it will be difficult for you to achieve great things. But don't worry, even if the four of us set up a joint attack formation, we won't be a match for your father. Moreover, we have a favor to ask of your father. We can't wait to please you. Why would we hurt you? Dao Yuan, we have a favor to ask of you. Please allow it. Wang Mingchen had been a little silly and bold since he was young. Before he was a year old, he always wanted to go to the Earth Fire Room to play. He had never encountered any great danger since he was young. It was normal that he didn't lack courage. Wang Daoyuan said, "Seniors, please speak your mind. There's no need to be so polite. The inheritance of the Valley of Beasts can't be easily given to others. We wanted to take you in as a disciple on behalf of our master, and take you in as a disciple of the Valley of Beasts. This way, we won't be giving the inheritance to an outsider. We can also leave some dignity for the Valley of Beasts. But now, we don't dare to take you in. I think this little guy is very talented and has a good temperament. What do you think if I take him in as a disciple?" The Vermilion Bird Hall Master, a former soul formation cultivator, should have been enough to take him in as a disciple. However, he had become a refined corpse. After all, his soul was incomplete and his temperament was unstable. There were many cases of cultivators who refine corpses being bitten by them. Wang Daoyuan was really worried that this guy would suddenly explode and hurt Wang Mingchen. Seeing his hesitation, the Black Tortoise Hall Master hurriedly explained, "Daoyuan, I know you're worried that we refined corpses will suddenly go crazy. However, you don't have to worry. Those refined corpses go crazy because their souls are incomplete. In the process of being refined into a corpse, there was also an extremely strong resentment. Once it received a strong stimulus and its owner was unable to suppress it, it was very easy for it to go crazy. People like us are different. Strictly speaking, we are not refined corpses, but ghost cultivators." She only used a secret technique to separate the Yuanying and turned her soul into a ghost cultivator. Then, she hid her soul in an artifact made of soul crystals to conceal the secrets of heaven. In this way, he could not casually use his original strength, or he would be punished by the heavens. Therefore, we refine our bodies into refined corpses and hide the soul crystals in our bodies, borrowing the power of the refined corpses to fight our enemies. In terms of intelligence, we aren't any weaker than deity transformation cultivators. In fact, our spiritual sense cultivation is much higher than yours. The four of us have reached this stage of our own free will, and we don't have any resentment. In terms of temperament, he is not much different from ordinary people." Wang Daoyuan carefully sensed for a moment and indeed did not find the existence of resentment. As such, Wang Daoyuan was slightly relieved. Ghost cultivators were different from refined corpses. Ghost cultivators gave people the impression that they were extremely evil. Although they gave off an evil impression, they were at least a cultivation system permitted by the heavenly Tao. There was a slight chance of cultivating to the earth immortal realm. To the heavenly Tao, there was no difference between ghost immortals and earth immortals. Refined corpses were not tolerated by the heavens because they had almost no intelligence and could only act on instinct. They could not even be considered life and would not encounter heavenly tribulations in the early stages. However, when they cultivated to an extremely high realm, they would be born with an extremely high intelligence. At that time, they would be noticed by the heavenly Tao. The heavenly punishment they suffered was 10 times or 100 times more terrifying than that of a ghost cultivator. They would not stop until they were struck to death. Since there was no problem in terms of safety, it was acceptable. His son had become the disciple of the Vermilion Bird Hall Master, so he and the Vermilion Bird Hall Master were of the same generation. The first-generation ancestor of the Zhou family, Zhou Tianpang, was 1 generation younger than the Vermilion Bird Hall Master. In this way, he had advanced more than 90 generations. In the future, he would discuss with his nephew Zhou Jingyuan about how to address him. The Azure Dragon Hall Master said, "Wind Wings, follow us to the Sect's ancestral hall and pay respects to the ancestors. Tell them personally that our Valley of Beasts has not perished yet. We will close the formation of the ancestral hall and let Mingchen go with us. He will take the Vermilion Bird Hall Master as his master in front of the ancestral hall. What do you think?" Wang Daoyuan nodded in agreement. The Azure Dragon Hall Master took out a jade communication talisman. "I will have them close the formation and prepare. So there were still other refined corpses alive in the Valley of Beasts. This was a bit out of his expectations. He took out a flying boat. Everyone sat on the flying boat and flew towards the mountain gate. After an hour, they arrived at the Valley of Beasts mountain gate. If the Valley of Beasts mountain gate was at the center of the Myriad Beast Island, then the radius of the Myriad Beast Island should be more than 10,000 miles. At this time, the formation had been closed. Another 4 refined corpses in human form walked out and stood guard in front of the ruins. The Azure Dragon Hall Master introduced. They were all elders of the sect in the past. They are in the same situation as the 4 of us. Wang Daoyuan and the other 2 also bowed to these elders. Everyone came to a few buildings in the center of the ruins. These buildings were also the only remnants of the Valley of Beasts mountain gate. The group came to a palace-like building. Looking in from the door, they saw many memorial tablets. This should be the ancestral hall of the Valley of Beasts. The Azure Dragon Hall Master had the highest status. He walked at the front and the other elders followed behind. Venerable Windwing and Wang Mingchen followed at the back and entered the ancestral hall. Wang Daoyuan was not a disciple of the Valley of Beasts. He also did not plan to enter the Valley of Beasts. Therefore, he did not enter the ancestral hall. The Azure Dragon Hall Master knelt in front of the memorial tablet and cupped his hands. In the name of the ancestral hall, the Valley of Beasts faced a disaster in order to slay the evil dragon. Today, the direct disciple of the Vermilion Bird Hall, the 97th grandson of the previous sect master, the Golden Rock Divine Monarch Zhou Tianpeng, Zhou Yifeng, has returned to the Valley of Beasts. For more than 50,000 years, the descendants of the Zhou family have always worshipped the ancestral masters of the Valley of Beasts. The incense of the Valley of Beasts has never stopped. Today, the descendants of the Zhou family have returned to the sect and continue the legacy of the Valley of Beasts. We hope that the ancestral masters of the past will accept us. After saying this, everyone bowed to the memorial tablet. Zhou Yifeng knelt 3 times and kowtowed 9 times. Disciple Zhou Yifeng greets the ancestral masters of the past. Then, the Vermilion Bird Hall Master stood up and stood in front of Wang Mingchen. He asked, Wang Mingchen, are you willing to take me as your master? Wang Mingchen was still relatively quick-witted. He knelt on the ground. Disciple Wang Mingchen greets master. After saying this, he kowtowed 3 times. The Vermilion Bird Hall Master smiled. Good disciple, quickly rise. Follow me to greet the ancestral masters of the past. After saying this, he brought Wang Mingchen and knelt in front of the ancestral tablets. Today, there is Wang Mingchen, the 99th generation descendant of Zhou Tianpeng. He possesses the bloodline of the Vermilion Bird and has extraordinary talent. He has awakened the minor ability of Nanmingli Fire, and has the hope of reviving the glory of the Valley of Beasts. This disciple has accepted him as a disciple. I hope that the ancestral masters of the past will accept him. Mingchen greets the ancestral masters of the past. Wang Mingchen knelt 3 times and kowtowed 9 times. Disciple Wang Mingchen greets the ancestral masters of the past. After the ceremony, Wang Mingchen was officially accepted as a disciple of the Vermilion Bird Hall Master. The Azure Dragon Hall Master instructed the other elders. All of you, go and take out all the legacies that we have copied in our boredom all these years. Feng Yi, as the descendant of Zhou Tianpeng, you are also the direct disciple of the previous sect master. You can take away all the legacies of the previous sect master. Zhou Tianpeng was also a disciple of the Vermilion Bird Hall back then. You have the qualifications to cultivate all the legacies of the Vermilion Bird Hall. As the disciple of the Vermilion Bird Hall Master, Wang Mingchen has the potential to inherit the position of sect master. As the personal disciple of the Hall Master and the living disciple with the highest status in the Valley of Beasts, you have the right to manage all the legacies of the Valley of Beasts. I will give you a copy of all the legacies of the Valley of Beasts. Wang Mingchen's talent was the best among the disciples of the Valley of Beasts. In the future, the position of sect master would definitely be his. This was a rather decent method. Handing it over to him was equivalent to handing it over to Wang Daoyuan. Chapter 867. Soon, the 4 elders returned to the entrance of the ancestral hall. Each of them took out an interspatial ring and handed it to the hall master. These interspatial rings were not low in grade. They were all low grade, grade 5. Judging from the quality of the materials, They were definitely not grade 5 materials. The Hall Master took these rings and used his divine sense to explore them. He picked out a few beast skin books and handed them to Venerable Windwing. This is the inheritance of the previous sect master, Divine Lord Golden Rock. You are the descendant of Zhou Tianpeng and the direct descendant of Divine Lord Golden Rock. Naturally, you have the right to learn these things. Then, he took out a pile of inheritances from another ring and handed them to Venerable Windwing. These are all the inheritances of the Vermilion Bird Hall. Most of these inheritances are related to the Phoenix bloodline. Your Zhou family has the Phoenix bloodline. I think you can carry forward these inheritances. Venerable Windwing took the inheritances and bowed. Thank you, Ancestral Master. The Zhou family will make good use of these inheritances and not lose the prestige of the Valley of Beasts. The Hall Master nodded and handed all 4 interspatial rings to Wang Mingchen. All the inheritances of the Valley of Beasts are here. In the future, if you can awaken the minor Nanming primordial fire, you can come here and inherit all the properties of the Valley of Beasts. Although there are not many living people on the Island of Beasts, there are still many properties left. For example, some secret realms in the sky/mountain range. Even after tens of thousands of years, some secret realms can't be discovered. Wang Mingchen took these rings and handed them to Wang Daoyuan. Father, please keep these things for me. Wang Daoyuan naturally did not refuse and accepted these rings. The Hall Master smiled. Our Valley of Beasts finally has a successor. It is not in vain that we have guarded for tens of thousands of years. Wang Daoyuan asked, what do you plan to do next? Continue to stay here or go to the branch hall? The Hall Master waved his hand. We have guarded here for tens of thousands of years. We don't want to leave anymore. Let's continue to stay here. Moreover, there are rank 5 monsters occupying the easternmost part of the Azure Dragon Hall's territory. Those bastards were quite capable. The fog was actually unable to completely suppress their cultivation. We have to guard this place to prevent them from having designs on the Myriad Beast Island. Wang Daoyuan naturally didn't insist. With them guarding this place, they could also prevent the demonic beasts in the sea from getting too big. There were no high-grade spirit veins in the East Sea, and the Heavenly/Mountain Range was also occupied by other demon clans. If the demon clans in the sea rashly went there, it might cause a conflict. To them, the Mirage Fog Sea was an excellent choice. If the demon race were to occupy the Myriad Beast Island, it would be troublesome. With these 8 elders and the remnants of the formation, it would not be a problem to resist the demons. The Vermilion Bird Hallmaster said, I have the Vermilion Bird bloodline, and my Purple Palace anomaly is also a Vermilion Bird. Unfortunately, the minor divine ability I awakened in the end was only fire control. However, I have accumulated a lot of experience. Using my experience to guide Mingchen will definitely be of some use. He then took out a beast skin book. This is a technique left behind by one of the patriarchs of the Valley of Beasts, the Li Hua Supreme God, the Li Fire Burning the Heavens technique. Speaking of which, the Zhou family is his distant descendants. Mingchen also has the Li Hua Supreme God's bloodline. This patriarch also has the Vermilion Bird bloodline and awakened the Nanming Li Fire. For someone with the Vermilion Bird bloodline, there is nothing more suitable than the Nanming Li Fire. My experience is also in here. Mingchen can take a look at it. The fog in the Mirage Fog Sea contains an extremely chaotic power of laws. It will greatly affect the cultivation of cultivators at the Golden Core realm and above. Refined corpses like us don't need to cultivate the power of laws, so it won't affect us. Mingchen is only at the late stage of the Purple Palace realm. It is not time for him to comprehend the power of laws, so it won't affect him much. I want to guide him first and leave after he has mastered the technique. How about it? Wang Daoyuan was not at ease leaving his son here. I can continue to stay here. Uncle Feng Yi has been idle for many years. It is the same wherever he is. I am already at the late stage of the Yuanying realm. It is time for me to make preparations for breaking through to the Soul Formation realm. I can ask the seniors for advice. Then, he took out the Gui Water Death Flame and the surrounding fog was quickly ignited. As for the fog in the Mirage Fog Sea, it couldn't do anything to me when I was at the Golden Core realm, let alone now. When the Black Tortoise Division Master saw the Gui Water Death Flame, he was extremely shocked. Water attribute spirit fire is too rare. Some spirit springs and water spirit veins can nurture water attribute spirit items, but most of them are spirit spring pearls. A small number of them were able to produce special spiritual water, and they also had extremely strong growth potential. As the saying goes, water and fire are incompatible. Water attribute spirit fire is the most difficult to form. The growth rate of special spirit water is incomparable to spirit fire. With this thing you can completely burn the chaotic power of laws in the fog and not be affected at all. It is not a problem for you to cultivate here for as long as you want. Then, the three of them and the 8 elders discussed Tao in front of the ancestral temple. The Vermilion Bird Division Master guided Wang Mingchen to cultivate the leaf fire burning sky technique. A year later, Wang Mingchen finished cultivating. The Vermilion Bird Division Master asked, "How do you feel?" He cupped his hands and replied, "This technique is indeed more suitable for me. When I cultivate, I feel that my blood and qi are rapidly increasing. I don't need to specially comprehend the Vermilion Bird Divine Charm. It will quickly become stronger." The Vermilion Bird Division Master stroked his beard and laughed. "Your Vermilion Bird bloodline is very concentrated. It is very easy to comprehend the Vermilion Bird Divine Charm. The bloodline is the foundation. The rapid increase of blood and qi is the result of the technique and bloodline. At this point, as long as you continue to cultivate step by step, it will be enough. I have nothing else to teach you. After staying here for a year, there are probably a lot of affairs in the Yen Kingdom. You will inherit the position of sect master in the future. You must have the ability to govern. Go back early." Wang Daoyuan took out 2 sword puppets from the space of the spirit pearl. "Mingchen and Uncle Feng Yi, you go to the south and wait. I have something to discuss with the seniors." Wang Mingchen bid farewell to the elders and followed Taoist Master Feng Yi and the 2 sword puppets to the south. When they were far away, the Vermilion Bird Division Master laughed. "Your puppets are not simple. My Valley of Beasts also has a shallow inheritance of puppets. However, there are too few soul crystals to refine high-level puppets. The ancestors of the past did not work in this area. They could only refine some low-level puppets to take care of the spirit fields." Wang Daoyuan laughed. "Before, I went out to sea to look for opportunities in other immortal cultivation worlds. There, I obtained the inheritance of puppets. Let's not talk about this for now. You said you have something to ask of me. Shouldn't you reveal it now?" The 8 elders looked at each other. In the end, the Azure Dragon Division Master said, "Let me say it. Simply put, us old fellows want to borrow your power to revitalize the Valley of Beasts. Your luck is excellent. In this declining Beiyuan Xiuxian, you were able to find the rarely seen Gui Water Death Flame. His identity as the Son of Fortune was almost confirmed. However, any Son of Fortune would definitely be involved in a war of providence, competing with other Sons of Fortune for providence. Most of these Sons of Fortune have their own factions. In addition, there are some who want to curry favor with others. The factions behind them are very powerful. Even Sword Immortal Guiyuan, who was an itinerant cultivator, had the support of Shenlian School and many other sects and mighty figures. If you are alone, I'm afraid it will be difficult for you to survive. Not only will the successful person's providence increase, but even the factions that follow him will also receive great benefits. Mingchen and the Zhou family are deeply involved with you. It is impossible for us to stay out of this. The Valley of Beasts has already reached this stage. There is nothing left to lose. Even if you fail, it is no big deal. However, if you succeed, the Valley of Beasts will become the top faction in the entire Qianyuan world. People like us will also receive great providence. When the time comes, we will be able to leave this corpse refinement body and cultivate to become ghost immortals. With such great benefits, us old fellows will risk our lives to help you." Chapter 868. Wang Daoyuan was a little dumbfounded after learning about the War of Providence. Originally, he only wanted to cultivate to the Earth Immortal realm and live a carefree life. But he didn't expect that there would be a life-and-death battle waiting for him. No wonder the 4 top forces didn't suppress him after he showed his talent. Especially the Archaic Mysteries sect, Shen Jiuxiao came from hundreds of thousands of miles away to give him a gift during his Golden Core ceremony. After all, they were a force that had been passed down since ancient times. Even if they didn't keep many ancient secrets, they should still know some things. It seemed that they had long suspected that he was the son of Providence. Even if he didn't want to get involved in this matter, at least he couldn't become enemies with the Son of Providence. Seeing that he was in deep thought, the Azure Dragon Division leader smiled and said, "You don't have to be too worried. Since the heavens have given you providence, they naturally won't let you die in vain. The heavenly Tao values balance the most. Although Beiyuan has declined greatly, it should still produce a Son of Providence. Now that the spirit chi of the heavenly/mountain range has recovered, it might be the heavenly Tao increasing the strength of the Son of Providence. When the War of Providence really erupts, every Son of Providence will at least have the strength of a powerhouse. You're still far from it now, which means that there's still a long time before the tribulation comes. Our Valley of Beasts doesn't owe you anything. If we force you to join the Valley of Beasts, I'm afraid you'll suffer from the backlash of Providence. We can only take a step back and take Mingchen as a disciple. You don't have to worry now. There's still a long time, so you have plenty of time to make a decision." Wang Daoyuan thought for a long time before saying, "I really can't make a decision now. After all, the strength in my hands is still too weak. In Beiyuan Xiuxian, it can still be a top force, but it can't be compared to the cultivation world I went to before. There were several mighty figure inheritances in the North Abyss's small territory. Not to mention the great world south of Heaven End Abyss, there might be many Earth immortal inheritances. I can only say that we should improve our strength as soon as possible. As for the future, we'll talk about it later." The Azure Dragon Division leader smiled and said, "It's good that you can think like this. We're just reminding you. So when the war comes in the future, you'll be fighting alone. The War of Providence was a battle of life and death. Once defeated, death was certain. The subordinate forces can pledge allegiance to the victor again, but your direct forces will definitely suffer a heavy blow. To be able to leave behind your legacy, it will all depend on your opponent's conscience." Wang Daoyuan nodded. "I know what to do. I'll make the necessary arrangements in advance. Now, I want to ask you some questions. There are many things that I can't ask others, or others don't know. My family wants to develop the Valley of Beasts of the Purple Gold River, but that place is shrouded in fog, and we can't pass the tribulation yet. Is this the Valley of Beasts' backup plan?" The White Tiger Hall chief replied, "To develop the Purple Gold River Valley, you want to cross the sky/mountain range from the westernmost karst cave of the valley, right? The Zijin River Branch Hall used to be under the jurisdiction of the White Tiger Hall. I was even the hall master of the Zijin River Branch Hall. I know the situation over there. The reason why he couldn't transcend the tribulation was because there were 2 thunder attribute magic artifacts buried deep in the valley of the Zijin River. Back then, they were all low-grade 7th-tier beasts that could attract the lightning of the 9 heavens. When transcending the tribulation, the heavenly tribulation and magic artifacts would work together. Cultivators who had just formed their gold cores wouldn't be able to withstand it. At first, the Zijin River Valley was occupied by demonic beasts. During the expansion of the Valley of Beasts, many battles broke out between us and those demonic beasts. Later on, in order to prevent the demonic beasts from coming back, we buried these 2 magic artifacts. Otherwise, Junior Marshal Brother Yun Tian wouldn't have been able to protect the Zijin River Valley. As for the fog that can cause people to go berserk, it was created by the formation. Back then, in order to hide the location of the sect, the founder of the Valley of Beasts killed a peak 7th-tier sea serpent and used its entire body to set up a great formation. True dragons and spirit veins are inextricably linked and can easily merge into one. Back then, the sea serpent merged into the spirit vein of the Myriad Beasts Island. The scale of this spirit vein wasn't small, causing the entire sea of sea serpent fog to be shrouded in fog. The disciples of the Valley of Beasts naturally have methods to avoid the interference of the sea serpent fog, so we aren't afraid of it. Most of the fog in the Zijin River Valley comes from here. Unless we set up a formation at the mouth of the river to block the fog, we won't be able to solve it." Wang Daoyuan was shocked. The Valley of Beasts was indeed the owner of the sky-chopping mountain range. They had such a thorough understanding of it. Even a small karst cave had been thoroughly explored by them. It was enough for him to know about the Zijin River Valley. He didn't plan to solve the problem of the fog and lightning tribulations now. He continued to ask, "West of the Clear Glass River, the secret realm under the Hollow Willow, was it opened up by the Valley of Beasts? That secret realm is now my family's territory. I have to get to the bottom of it, in case there are any tricks inside." The Blue Dragon Hall Master answered, The secret realm over there is indeed the work of the Valley of Beasts' supreme god Greenwood. He didn't leave anything behind. A lot of effort was put into that secret realm. Back then, in order to build the secret realm, a large amount of dark space stone was used. He also borrowed the power of the Hollow Willow's law to stabilize the space. As the Hollow Willow's grade increases, the grade of the spirit veins in the secret realm will also increase, and the space will also continue to expand. You have to protect that willow well. Once the willow dies, the space will become unstable. If you want to continue maintaining the secret realm, you have to keep throwing in dark space stones. Wang Daoyuan drew out a wisp of life spiritual fire. That willow is still living well, but its grade has always been mediocre. I also fused a life spiritual fire into it previously to increase its vitality. Now, the willow is already a Tier 1 low-grade spirit plant, and it's living better than before. That's right. There's a secret realm about 1,500 kilometers east of the big willow tree. The core of the secret realm is a peach tree, and this life spiritual fire was obtained from that peach tree. I don't know what kind of peach tree it is. That secret realm should also be in the Valley of Beasts, right? The Blue Dragon Hall Master smiled and said, "What a coincidence. That secret realm is a natural secret realm that was modified by human hands. The one who modified that secret realm was also Supreme God Greenwood. This ancestral master's hobby is to modify secret realms, and there are many secret realms that have been modified by him. That secret realm used to be a lava secret realm, and its core was a Tier 7 Scarlet Flame Divine Metal. Back then, the secret realm was about to run out of oil, so Ancestral Master Greenwood planted a spirit peach tree in it to replace the Scarlet Flame Divine Metal. That secret realm became a dual elemental earth and wood. Later the earth element decreased, and slowly, it became a pure wood elemental secret realm. As for the Scarlet Flame Divine Metal, it was eventually used by Supreme Godly Fire to forge his intrinsic magic artifact. You said that the tree has a life spiritual fire. What's going on? Is the tree dying?" Wang Daoyuan nodded and told him about True Monarch 100 Spirit and his exploration of the secret realm. He only hid the matter of the peach tree sapling. The Blue Dragon Hall Master sighed. "It's a pity. That peach tree is a true treasure. It contains extremely rich vitality, or else it wouldn't be able to nurture a life spiritual fire. It said that Ancestral Master Greenwood found it in the depths of the East Sea, and he named it Mystic Sky Emerald Spirit Peach. That thing needs to grow to Tier 6 low grade before it can bear fruit, and the fruit it bears is a Tier 6 spirit fruit. The Mystic Sky Emerald Spirit Peach's greatest use is healing. It's not an exaggeration to say that it's a sacred healing item. Back then, when I had just broken through to the Soul Formation realm, I was heavily injured while suppressing demon beasts in the Blue Dragon Hall. My limbs were crippled, and my primordial spirit was severely damaged. At that time, the sect master saw that I had made a great contribution, so he rewarded me with a Mystic Sky Emerald Spirit Peach. After eating it, my injuries were completely healed, and my yuaniying potential was even greater. In addition, the Mystic Sky Emerald Spirit Peach's core is also a rare spiritual item that can be used to replenish wood spirit roots. If a cultivator doesn't have wood spirit roots, they can refine the core and turn it into a man-made wood spirit root. There are many materials that can be used to refine man-made spirit roots, but I really don't know which one can compare to the core of the peach. The core of the peach is poisonous, but after the poison is removed, it can increase the height of the wood spirit root. Of course, the height of the spirit root can't exceed 1 foot. If it's already 1 foot, eating the core of the peach is useless. It's a pity that most of the fruits produced by the peach tree don't have a core. The few that do have a core are also difficult to cultivate into new fruit trees. Chapter 869. Hearing this, Wang Daoyuan was a little excited. He had long known that this peach tree sapling was extraordinary, but he didn't expect it to be so useful. The serious injuries of soul formation cultivators could be completely healed and their potential could also be enhanced. The peach core could be used to refine artificial spirit roots. This was only useful for those cultivators with 4 spirit roots and lacked wood spirit roots. The effect of this peach kernel was even stronger. There was still a gap between artificial spirit roots and natural spirit roots. It could directly increase the height of a wood spirit root, and what was increased was also a natural spirit root. If a cultivator with a wood spirit root ate this peach kernel, they might become a 1-foot heaven spirit root. This was a rare genius. Every increase in spirit root had a huge impact on one's talent. Wang Daoyuan asked, "Are there any more mystic sky jade spirit peach trees in the Valley of Beasts?" The Blue Dragon Hallmaster shook his head and said, "There used to be 2 in the Valley of Beasts, but they were destroyed in the Demon Beast riot. However, this thing was also planted in the other mystic realms in the Heavenly/Mountain Range. After Ming Chen forms his core, we will hand over all the mystic realms in the Valley of Beasts. When the time comes, you can go and take a look." Since they were unwilling to say, Wang Daoyuan didn't force them and asked about something else. Back then, the Valley of Beasts was on par with the Divine Weapon Pavilion and a few other forces. Why do I feel that the Valley of Beasts is much stronger than the Divine Weapon Pavilion? The White Tiger Hallmaster said proudly, "Of course. It has been more than 200,000 years since the Valley of Beasts was founded. In terms of history, it is much longer than the other forces. Among the generations of ancestors, there were more than 10 Mahayana cultivators. Among them, there were 5 who could be called mighty figures. Although the gap between mid-stage Mahayana cultivators and mighty figures was not big, at the Mahayana stage, it might take thousands of years or even thousands of years to break through. Moreover, becoming a mighty figure was not just about cultivating to the late stage or peak of the Mahayana stage. More than half of one's essence, energy, and spirit had to be converted into immortal power. At the mighty figure realm, one's ability to resist the third decay was already extremely strong. One could also rely on one's own immortal power to withstand it. As long as he could find some phase to assist him, he would be able to continue enduring. Unless the third decay suddenly appeared when the body was seriously injured, it would not be easy for them to pass away. Therefore, as long as a mighty figure continued to endure, there would always be a chance to become an immortal. If an ordinary Grand Ascension stage cultivator wanted to transcend the third blight tribulation, they would have to rely on their foundation. Even if he was lucky enough to survive, he would still suffer severe injuries. It was not easy for a Mahayana cultivator to become a mighty figure, and it was very difficult to condense immortal power. Using immortal energy to fight, the power that can be unleashed is not something that can be compared to spiritual energy. Wang Daoyuan didn't know much about mighty figures, and he thought that they were just names for powerful Mahayana cultivators. The White Tiger Hall head continued, "The other 4 powers are far worse. Only the Tianji sect is slightly better. Back then, the Yin-Yang god was an extremely powerful almighty. After that, the Xian family did produce 2 Grand Ascension stage cultivators, but unfortunately, neither of them were mighty figures. On the Divine Weapon Pavilion side, your Treasure Cauldron lineage's ancestor was only a mid-stage Mahayana cultivator, and he even died from the third decay tribulation. The sect master's lineage has a mighty figure's inheritance, but the Divine Weapon Pavilion's first ancestor was his disciple, and he didn't become a mighty figure himself. The Wind Snow Deity Palace is even worse. Their founder was only a mid-stage Mahayana cultivator, and they didn't even have a mighty figure's inheritance. The worst is the Tai Sword sect. They relied on the Tai Sword diagram drawn by Sword Immortal Gue Yuan's eldest disciple. Their founder was only an early-stage Mahayana cultivator, and they didn't produce another Mahayana cultivator after that. Their foundation is also the worst, and they only have about 70,000 years. In terms of sword cultivation inheritance, the Tai Sword sect was inferior to my White Tiger Hall. However, my Valley of Beasts is rich in knowledge, and I don't have the heart to compete with them." Then he took out a scroll. This is the origin returning sword diagram left behind by Sword Immortal Gue Yuan when he was still a Mahayana cultivator. "This thing can't be copied, so it's useless for me to keep it. Your sword intent is also the origin returning sword intent, so I'll leave this thing to you." Although there was a better origin returning sword diagram, there was no harm in leaving this thing behind. He could place it in his family and let the talented clansmen comprehend it. Wang Daoyuan asked again, "When I first came here, I heard the Black Tortoise Hallmaster mention the Divine 5 Thunder. This mighty figure should be the founder of the 5 Elements Divine Thunder. I want to hear about his deeds." The Black Tortoise Hallmaster said, "The 5 Elements Divine Thunder was indeed created by the Divine 5 Thunder. He was also a cultivator with 5 spirit roots. After forming his nascent soul, he comprehended the 5 Elements Divine Thunder. The 5 Elements Divine Thunder is activated by the 5 Element Spirit Force, and its power is comparable to thunder techniques. However, the consumption of spirit force is not large. In addition, It's extremely fast. The Divine Five Thunder's fighting strength is extremely strong. In the early stage of Yuanying, he obtained the title of Perfected Lord. He was also an itinerant cultivator and had been traveling north of Mount Huiyan in his early years. Later, he established a sect and founded the Five Thunder Sect. Based on the Five Elements Divine Thunder, he deduced the Lesser Five Elements Lightning Art. After he became a mighty figure, he moved the Five Thunder Sect to the central part of the Qianyuan realm, which is very far away from us. Back then, he was on good terms with a senior in the Valley of Beasts. The Valley of Beasts also obtained two complete Lesser Five Elements Lightning Arts, which are the Earth Divine Thunder and the Fire Divine Thunder. The other three Thunder Arts are not known in the outside world. How did you obtain the Gui Water Divine Thunder? Wang Daoyuan told him about the Zhao family. The Black Tortoise Hall Master suddenly understood. The ancient cultivator that Zhao Wudi found was most likely a disciple of the Five Thunder Sect. The lethality of the Lesser Five Elements Lightning Art should be the Wood Divine Thunder and the Metal Divine Thunder. After the Wood Divine Thunder explodes, all living things within its range will have their vitality taken away. It is extremely difficult to defend against. Needless to say, the Metal Divine Thunder will form threads of spirit force after it explodes. Its lethality is not inferior to the flying swords of cultivators of the same level. In addition to the penetrative damage of the metal spirit force, few cultivators of the same level can resist it. The Gui Water Divine Thunder is invisible and can penetrate through defenses. It is impossible to defend against it. Its power is also not bad. It is ranked third. Although the explosive power of the Fire Divine Thunder was strong, it was not much stronger than ordinary fire attribute spells. The Earth Divine Thunder walks the path of sealing, so its lethality is even worse. Our Valley of Beasts is also a power that has produced many powerful people. We do not lack in various inheritances. The ancestors of the past did not attach much importance to these two thunder arts, so they did not continue to derive them. Among the inheritances that were given to you, there are two complete thunder arts. The other three thunder arts are not circulated outside. Therefore, when I saw you use the 5th level Gui Water Divine Thunder, I thought you were the successor of the Five Thunder Supreme God. To be able to obtain the complete Earth Divine Thunder and Fire Divine Thunder here was already considered good. The power of these two thunder arts was weak, but it depended on who was using them. With the Dust Returning Flame and the Scarlet Yang Primordial Fire, their power would definitely not be weak. Moreover, spells weren't static. The two thunder arts in the Valley of Beasts were only at the Golden Core late stage. He would have to derive the rest by himself and think of ways to increase their power. It was already impossible to obtain the complete Lesser Five Elements Thunder Art. The Gui Water Divine Thunder, which was ranked third in power, was only discovered by chance after tens of thousands of years. The Five Thunder Sect would only be more cautious about the strongest Gung Metal Divine Thunder and Wood Divine Thunder. The possibility of them being left outside was even smaller. The Valley of Beasts had occupied the sky/mountain range for tens of thousands of years. If they could not find these two thunder arts, then it was possible that they really did not have them. Zhao Wudi was lucky enough to find the Gui Water Divine Thunder. However, in these tens of thousands of years, there was only one Zhao Wudi. Based on his own ability, finding these two thunder arts was no different from finding a needle in a haystack. He could only go to the south of the Heaven End Abyss, the center of the Qianyuan world. He already knew most of the questions he wanted to know. He could not stay here forever. He cupped his hands and said, "Seniors, I should also take my leave. If I leave for too long, the great demon kings of the sky/mountain range and the extreme frost icy plains might have some ideas." The Vermilion Bird Hallmaster smiled and said, "If you have something to do, go ahead. If Mingchen needs anything, feel free to find us. I don't dare to say anything else, but if there are any problems in cultivation, we old things can still help." Chapter 870. After bidding farewell to them, Wang Daoyuan picked up Wang Mingchen and Daoist Windwing and flew south out of the Mirage Fog Sea. Daoist Windwing said emotionally, "I didn't expect the Valley of Beasts to still be around. Daoyuan, thank you so much. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to obtain so many inheritances." Back then, the Valley of Longevity was the leader of the four top factions. Azure Dragon, Vermilion Bird, White Tiger, and Black Tortoise Halls had inheritances comparable to the four top factions. Vermilion Bird Hall was good at refining pills and refining weapons, although their refining skills were not as good as the Divine Weapon Pavilion. However, there were also powerful inheritances that were especially compatible with my Zhou family's bloodline. With these, my Zhou family will soon catch up with the top factions. Wang Daoyuan waved his hand. You're welcome. There's no distinction between our two families. The Wang family's gains were also very great. The Valley of Beasts had produced 5 powerful figures and more than 10 Mahayana cultivators. After obtaining all the inheritances of the Valley of Beasts, they didn't have to look for cultivation techniques anymore. Even the inheritances of the Qixing Si Xiuxian community were only so. Only the Heavenly Mystery Tower could surpass the inheritances of the Valley of Beasts. However, the inheritances of the Heavenly Mystery Tower were not unique to the Archaic Mysteries sect, but to the Beiyuan Xiuxian human race. With the Wang family's small body, it would probably take a few thousand years to digest all the inheritances. When he returned, it was time to adjust the family's population policy. The number of cultivators was still too little by relying on the previous methods. Although there were more and more cultivators these years, the lifespan of ordinary clansmen was limited. If they couldn't break through to the foundation establishment realm, they could only live for 100 years. In addition, although the family's important industries were not breached, there were still many cultivators killed and injured. He didn't care much about the family's affairs. He didn't know how many mortals and cultivators there were. Knowing that there might be a war of providence in the future, he couldn't be like before and always be in a free-range state. He had to increase the number of cultivators and clansmen as soon as possible to increase the strength of the Yan kingdom. After sending Wang Mingchen back to Qingli City, he continued to drive the flying boat and sent Daoist Windwing back to the Zhou country before returning to the palace of Qingli City. After leaving for a year, Wang Shui and Wang Daochang were reporting to Wang Mingchen about what had happened in the past year. Wang Daoyuan walked in, and the 3 of them bowed. He waved his hand and said, "There's no need for that. I've obtained quite a few inheritances now." In terms of inheritance alone, our Wang clan's foundation has already surpassed the 4 top forces, and is only second to the Heaven's Mystery Tower. However, there were too few cultivators in the clan, and the system for cultivating cultivators was too weak. It might take a few thousand years to fully comprehend all of these inheritances. The Heavenly/Mountain Range's spirit veins are constantly recovering. Anything can happen in the future. We don't have time to wait. The Yan Kingdom and the family had to make some adjustments. The development of the existing territories also needed to be regulated. The other clans within the boundaries of Qingli Prefecture maintained the status quo, but they were not allowed to casually develop other spiritual mountains. If he made a contribution, he could be rewarded with territory in the South County and North County of Linhai Prefecture. Guiyan County to the north of the mountain, as well as the large piece of land to the west of Guiyan County, could all be rewarded. However, Qingli County, Linhai County and Linhai County, as well as the Serene South County that will be set up in the future in Mount Serene will all be left to our own people. That's right. How many people does the clan have now? As the Prime Minister, Wang Shui was naturally very familiar with this aspect. In the year since you returned, the demons have not dared to be rampant. The number of people in the clan has increased very quickly. The number of ordinary clansmen has already reached 1.5 million. Among them, there are over 1 million in the north of Qingli Prefecture, 200,000 in Fallen Dragon Ridge, and 100,000 each in 5 Elements Secret Realm and Green Willow Secret Realm. Over at Wanchuan Market, the losses from the demon beasts were too great. Now there are only 50 to 60,000. There are still 50 to 60,000 in Linhai Prefecture. There are over 3,500 cultivator clansmen. You know all the Golden Core cultivators, there are over 30 Zifu Realm cultivators, and over 400 Foundation Establishment cultivators. Now that the cultivation of the clan's cultivators is relatively high, their lifespans are also longer. If the seniority is based on a generation of 50 years, it would be hard to call them juniors. Starting from the Xian generation, the clan has already changed the seniority to the 100 generation. Profound Understanding and Righteous are now the Righteous generation. Starting from the Profound generation, there are over 1,000 cultivators in each generation. Now, the Righteous generation has only been in the order for 50 years, and there are already over 1,000 cultivators. In addition, about 60% of the cultivators have parents who are mortals. The role of mortals is still very important to the clan. Wang Daoyuan nodded. The number of cultivators is not small, but it is still not enough. The territory that the clan has already developed can easily support tens of millions of ordinary clansmen. The 1 million people in our clan are really not much. Under normal circumstances, the number of cultivators in a larger clan is about 1% of the total number of ordinary people. Most of the imperial clans of the various countries are at this level. The number of cultivators in our Wang clan is still far from this level. The clan has established such a large foundation, but no one is developing it. Those spirit veins are also a waste. There are always rogue cultivators who want to take these places. We have to increase the population as soon as possible. How is the 5-element secret realm now? Is it a bit difficult to support 100,000 people? Wang Daochong replied. I went to take a look before. The situation there is not bad. The recovery of spiritual qi in the heaven/mountain range has also affected that place. Now, the spiritual qi in the 5-element secret realm has already reached low-grade level 4. However, the 5-element secret realm is not very big. Now, supporting 100,000 people is already the limit. If there are more people, they will take up places suitable for spiritual fields. I feel that we should move more people out to develop the 5-element secret realm. 50 to 60,000 people is more than enough. There is a shortage of people in other places, so there is no need to put too many people in the 5-element secret realm. The serene South Mountain has just been developed and is lacking people. We can move some people out of the 5-element secret realm. This was indeed suitable. The clan was lacking people everywhere. There was no point in leaving too many people in the 5-element secret realm. Let's do as third brother said. The serene South Mountain is within the heaven/mountain range. There are many mountain ranges nearby. The cold qi in the extreme frozen icy plains is mostly blocked by the mountain range. It has little effect here. There are many plains south of the serene South Mountain. It is not a big deal to settle a few 100,000 ordinary people. Wang Mingchen said, the 5-element secret realm is still too short. It is far from enough to build the serene South County. I think that there are too many ordinary clansmen in the north of the Qingli County. We should move some of them out. Wang Daoyun glanced at his son and said with a smile, Mingchen's words make sense. Although the family's core area was developed earlier and is more suitable for mortals to live in, there is no need to leave too many mortals here. In the territory left by the old ancestor, other than the Jade Spring Peak and the Blue Cloud Peak, there are no spirit veins. Ordinary clansmen are more likely to give birth to children with spirit veins in places with rich spirit energy. Ordinary clansmen who are far away from spirit veins have to move to places with spirit veins. Especially near the Wanchuan market. It has been developed for many years. But when the 6th prince fought the 3 sects, he cleaned it up. There are not many clans left, but the foundation of development is still there. We can move some people there. As for how many people to move, you can decide. There is also the 100 Rivers Lake, the Green Willow Island and a few other islands. There are not many demonic beasts in the heaven/mountain range now. There is no need to let 100,000 or 200,000 loose cultivators stay there. We can let most of the loose cultivators go to develop the northern part of the mountain. The space can be used to settle ordinary clansmen. There are many mountain streams near the lake that flow into the 100 Rivers Lake. There are many plains near the lake. It is not a problem to arrange some ordinary clansmen in those places. Chapter 871. Wang Daochong frowned slightly. This isn't easy. The place is good, but there are many low-level demon beasts in the 100 Rivers Lake. Itinerant cultivators don't care, but ordinary clansmen can't resist these low-level demon beasts. If we rashly move a large number of clansmen there, I'm afraid the clansmen will suffer heavy casualties. If we send cultivators to guard the 100 Rivers Lake, how many cultivators will we have to let in? This was indeed a problem. Although the higher-ranked demonic beasts had left, there were still many demonic beasts of the 3rd rank and below. The number of low-level demon beasts in a big lake like the 100 Rivers Lake was probably more than the current clansmen of the Wang family. It would take some effort to wipe out these demon beasts. Wang Daoyuan thought for a long time before saying, there's no need to wipe them all out. We can subdue them. Don't forget, our Wang family has a few spirit beasts that like to play with water. Yun Yi and the Netherworld Dragon are fooling around in the Netherworld King River. The spirit plant seeds that I planted were all eaten by the 2 of them. If we let them continue to stay there, Not only will they not be of help, but they will also cause trouble. As a dragonfish, Wang Minglong was a living ancestor in front of the aquatic demon beasts. It shouldn't be a problem to let him subdue those low-level demon beasts. Xueqi is now a metal and water dual attribute spirit beast. He comes from the 100 Rivers Lake. Let him bully the low-level demon beasts there and reward him with some roasted meat. 12th Uncle's dragonfish should not have much time to break through to level 4. After it breaks through, it can also be sent to the 100 Rivers Lake. Find something for them to do, so they won't be idle all day and cause trouble everywhere. Wang Shui smiled and said, "This method is not bad. Not only do we not have to kill all these demon beasts, but we can also subdue them for our own use. My dragonfish has been sleeping for more than a year. In his sleep, he is still absorbing the surrounding spiritual energy. It won't take long for him to break through to level 4. After he breaks through, it's not bad to guard the 100 Rivers Lake. Subdue those aquatic demon beasts and keep the more valuable ones and slowly nurture them into spirit fish. The less valuable ones and the disobedient ones will be slowly dealt with. There are also no traces of demon beasts in the fallen Dragon Ridge after hundreds of years of development. It was enough for the Thunder Ape to stay there. Big Black's tribe had nothing to do there, so it was better to move them to the 100 Rivers Lake. Ever since these wolves were born, they lived together as if they were their own kind. Although it didn't recognize a master, it was no different from a domesticated spirit beast. In all these years, there had never been a case of wolves harming their own people. Letting them guard the shores of the 100 Rivers Lake will also be of great use. Wang Daoyuan naturally had no objection. The low-level demon beasts near the fallen Dragon Ridge had long been cleared by the Wang family and the demon hunters. The higher-ranked demonic beasts either retreated with the demonic kings or were killed. Leaving a pack of wolves there was indeed no use. It was better to let them go to the 100 Rivers Lake. That's how it is for the ordinary clansman. The family has added a lot of new territories. You can see if there are any suitable places to build a foundation. As for increasing the number of cultivator clansmen, ordinary clansmen would move to live in places with spirit veins, and the chances of giving birth to offspring with spirit roots would naturally increase. He also had to encourage the existing cultivator clansmen to have more children. His previous methods were not bad, so he could continue to preserve them. Other than that, we can also increase some benefits. What were the conditions for the foundation establishment pills in the past? Wang Daochong answered, those with a 6-inch primary spirit root and above can borrow contribution points to exchange for foundation establishment pills. There are also the 100 arts of immortal cultivation, mainly pills, tools, talisman arrays, and spirit plant farmers. If they reach the second level, they will receive the same treatment as a 6-inch primary spirit root. Moreover, cultivators with better talent can borrow contribution points for all the resources they need for cultivation. In these years, cultivators with better talent have accumulated a lot of cultivation skills. There are already over 100 pill refiners, tool refiners, and talisman masters. There are fewer formation masters, but the Yen Kingdom has wantonly built flying warships and trained 50 to 60 of them. As for those with better talent, all the cultivators with 2 spirit roots in the family can reach foundation establishment before the age of 40. Except for a few cultivators who want to increase their foundation, everyone else can reach Purple Palace before the age of 90. In terms of resources, we definitely won't mistreat the talented clansmen. Wang Shui continued, the policies you proposed back then were really too beneficial to the family. When we implemented these policies, we had to spend tens of thousands of spirit stones a year. But now, these clansmen bring additional benefits to the family that are much higher than the contribution points we borrowed back then. Wang Daoyuan thought for a moment, then said, this policy is indeed much better than most clans, and it also benefits from the fact that the family is currently in the stage of expansion. Ordinary clans simply don't have the capital to do this. However, our family's status has risen too quickly, and we still don't have enough cultivator clansmen. Now, we have more than 3,000 cultivator clansmen. Not to mention the 4 top powers, even a small country is much stronger than us. How about this, in the future, if the cultivator clansmen give birth to descendants with spirit roots, they will be given contribution points directly. If they give birth to heavenly spirit roots, they will be given 100,000 contribution points directly. If they give birth to 2 spirit roots, they will be given 10 to 50,000. If they give birth to a 3-inch primary spirit root and above, they will be given 1,000 to 10,000. If they give birth to descendants with spirit roots, they will be given at least 500 contribution points. There are many clansmen who owe the family contribution points, especially those who are only good at fighting. It will be very difficult for them to repay these contribution points. With this policy, as long as they give birth to more children, they will be able to repay the debt. Can the family afford these contribution points? Wang Daochong had been in charge of the family for many years, and was very experienced in this aspect. Without thinking, he said, "There are very few cultivators with heavenly spirit roots and 2 spirit roots. Right now, Mingchen is the only one with heavenly spirit roots in the family, and there are no more than 30 cultivators with 2 spirit roots. Most of them are 4 spirit roots cultivators, and 3 spirit roots cultivators with 5 inches or less primary spirit roots. On average, the family will have to pay about 1,000 contribution points for each additional cultivator clansman. With the family's current financial resources, we really don't care about this." Wang Mingchen said, "Father, I heard that you once mentioned that if there was a chance in the future, you could let all the pregnant women in the family have spirit grains to eat. Right now, the family earns tens of millions of spirit stones every year, so we should be able to do it." Wang Shui shook his head. "The idea is very good, and the results should be pretty good. However, the total number of clansmen in the family is more than 1.5 million, and there are tens of thousands of women who give birth every year. In addition to the consumption of the cultivator clansmen, we need more than 500,000 kilograms a year. With so many spirit grains, we don't even have a place to buy them." Wang Daoyuan said with a smile, "That's not necessarily the case. It is very difficult to produce enough high-grade spirit plants, but producing grade 1 spirit grains is a piece of cake. Right now, we can refine puppets to help take care of the spirit fields." "All right, how are the negotiations over buying the 9th underworld ink jade in the state of Zhao?" Wang Shui replied, "We've already discussed it. The Zhao family doesn't need the 9th underworld ink jade at all. Now that we are willing to buy it, they can't be more than happy." Wang Daoyuan nodded. "In that case, let the refiners and formation masters in the family freely refine low-grade puppets. All the flat land in the heaven/mountain range can be opened up into spirit fields. However, it is too labor-intensive and can't be developed in a short time. We can refine more puppets to help take care of the spirit fields. These newly developed spirit fields are very suitable for planting grade 1 spirit grains. As long as there are enough puppets, it is not a problem to find a flat land in the heaven/mountain range and develop hundreds of thousands of acres of grade 1 spirit fields. As for these low-grade puppets, there should be many grade 1 and 2 refiners and formation masters in the family, so let them practice. With enough 9th underworld ink jade, the cost of refining puppets would not be high. The biggest problem is still the spirit gathering pearl. A grade 2 refiner needs more than half a year to refine a grade 2 spirit gathering pearl. I will think of a way to simplify the refining method of the spirit gathering pearl so that the clansmen can refine more." Chapter 872. Wang Shui thought for a moment and said, "The clan's annual consumption of ling grains is calculated at 2 million catties. First-grade ling grains, 4 seasons in a year. Mu of ling fields produces 800 catties a year, so we need 2,500 mu of ling fields. The grade of ling grains is very low, but it uses up a lot of energy from the ling plant farmer. 1 year, we need to plant and harvest 4 times, and water many times. It's very good for a ling plant farmer to take care of 10 mu of ling grains. 2,500 mu of ling fields. We need 250 ling plant farmers. The clan can gather so many ling plant farmers, but the clan can't just plant ling grains. There are other important ling fields that need to be taken care of. If we encounter diseases, it will be even more troublesome. How many mu of ling fields can one puppet take care of?" Wang Daoyuan shook his head and said, "Puppets aren't calculated like this. One puppet only does one thing. For example, a puppet that uses the sweet rain art. If it is equipped with 3 4th-grade ling gathering pearls, it can water 100 mu of ling fields for a long time. There are also puppets that are responsible for plowing, planting, and harvesting. It isn't difficult for one puppet to take care of 100 mu of ling fields. They only need one puppet for plowing, planting, harvesting, and casting the sweet rain art. As a group, they can manage 100 mu of ling grains. 2,500 mu of Ling fields only needs 25 groups of puppets. There are Ling bees to take care of pests, so there is no rush. If we encounter diseases in the Ling grains, it will be very complicated, and we need Ling plant farmers to take care of it. Of course, this was the way to plant rank 1 Ling grains. If they wanted to raise the Ling fields to rank 3 and above, it would take a lot of effort. Planting special Ling grains would be even more troublesome. Wang Daochong calculated the cost and had a joyful expression. If this is the case, even if our Wang clan has tens of millions of normal clansmen, we can easily feed them. Wang Daoyuan nodded. It isn't a big deal if the method to make the puppets is leaked. But the Ling gathering pearls have to be kept a secret. Without the Ling gathering pearls, no matter how good the puppets are, they have to be powered by Ling stones. Casting 1 sweet rain art requires about 1 piece of low-grade Ling stone. If we use the sweet rain art to maintain 2,500 mu of Ling fields, it would take at least 3 months. Casting the sweet rain art once every 3 months for 1 mu of Ling field, it would cost tens of thousands of Ling stones a year. With the soul gathering pearls, we can save the energy stones. Spirit fields were not only used to produce crops, but they also required a large amount of resources to maintain them. If there was a water source that was rich in spiritual energy, he could directly use the canals that contained spiritual energy to water the spiritual fields. Without a suitable water source, one had to pay attention to the location of the spirit field. The closer the land was to the spirit vein, the easier it was for the land to be nourished by the spirit vein, and the easier it would be to maintain it. Some places didn't even need to be maintained. After the land was cleared, spirit plants could be planted. The spirit energy seeping into the spirit veins was enough to sustain the consumption of the spirit fields. Most of the spirit fields were developed near water sources and spirit veins. The Ling fields that needed the sweet rain art to maintain, even if they sold the Ling items they produced, it wouldn't be enough to pay the wages of the Ling plant farmers. Such a spiritual field was like a bottomless pit, and no power was willing to open it up. That was why spirit fields in the immortal cultivation world were so precious. However, with the help of the puppet and the spirit gathering pearl, as long as the density of spirit chi in the surroundings was high enough, he could open up a spirit field anywhere. Wang Daoxing said, "Why don't we put this kind of spiritual field that is used to grow first-grade spiritual grains in the Green Willow secret realm first? The space there is big enough, but we lack manpower, and there is still a lot of land that hasn't been developed into spirit fields. The density of spirit chi in the secret realm is very high, and the spirit gathering pearl can easily absorb spirit chi. We can continuously use the sweet rain art to nourish the spirit fields, but only plant first-grade spiritual grains. After a few decades, the spirit fields will advance." This was naturally the best. In his own secret realm, he didn't have to worry about the puppet being leaked, and he could also cultivate second-grade spiritual fields. He took out a storage bag. "Let's do it like this. You can arrange the details. Here are 300 fourth-grade spirit gathering pearls. It's enough for now. We have obtained large amounts of inheritances from the Valley of Beasts. We can't easily show the high-level inheritances to people. I'll go examine them, and those that are suitable to be released will be given to the clansmen to cultivate." Afterwards, he left Clear Glass City, and headed towards the underground cavern of Jade Spring Peak. The inheritances from the Valley of Beasts had already been put into the space of the Spirit Pearl. His doppelganger would slowly examine and find the inheritances he needed. These 4 universe rings contained over 10,000 beast skin books, and even more jade scrolls. These things were all copies. They hadn't been recorded for a long time, and the contents were still complete. If he wanted to organize all of these things, even in the space of the Spirit Pearl, it would take a very long time. Wang Daoyuan didn't need techniques and spells at the moment, so he didn't look at them. What he looked at more were those secret arts. However, the secret arts that his doppelganger occasionally flipped through attracted his interest. Among them was the inheritance of the Ling plant farmer of the Valley of Beasts, which was very advanced. The inheritance of the Wang family's Ling plant farmer was a local product of the Netherworld sect that Zhong Zhenyang had given back then. The Netherworld sect had only been established for a few thousand years. Even though they had many Jindan Xiuzha, but in terms of inheritance and foundation, they were only at a mediocre level. The inheritance of the Ling plant farmer only had the basic methods to cultivate Ling plants. As for those secret arts, they didn't even need to think about them. The Valley of Beasts really was the #1 power in Beiyuan in the past. They had many Ling plant secret arts. For example, methods that could increase the growth rate of Ling plants, using some Ling items to create special nourishment. Then using some secret arts, they could greatly reduce the growth time of Ling plants. Of course, different Ling plants require different nourishment recipes and different secret arts. Among these secret arts, there was a method to accelerate the ripening of the purple dragon pattern ginseng. The combination of the secret arts and special nourishment could reduce the ripening time of the purple dragon pattern ginseng from 1,000 years to 500 years. The main ingredients of the foundation establishment pill, the true essence fruit, and the blood jade ginseng, naturally had secret arts and special nourishment that reduced the ripening time by more than half. Right now, Wang Daoyuan didn't care too much about the foundation establishment pill. After all, he had killed large amounts of rank 3 Yao in these years, and didn't lack these things. What interested Wang Daoyuan the most was that there was a secret art to accelerate the ripening of the nascent formation fruit. The 5,000-year ripening time of the nascent formation fruit was really too long. Even in the space of the spirit pearl, the first batch of nascent formation fruit from the branch of the nascent formation fruit tree that he had obtained in the 7-star secret realm hadn't ripened yet. Being a Ling plant farmer was one of the many arts of cultivation, and its importance wasn't any less than pill, smithing and seal formations. The inheritance of a Ling plant farmer in the Valley of Beasts wasn't as simple as ripening. There was also a secret art to make the nascent formation fruit tree bear the nascent replenishing fruit. To execute this secret art, one needed rank 5 upper grade 5 element spirit items. The golden core essence of a rank 5 Yao or the essence of the 5 element spirit items would do. One also had to use a secret art to merge the essence of these spirit items into an unformed nascent formation fruit, and continuously nurture this nascent formation fruit. One had to execute the secret art more than 10 times to turn the nascent formation fruit into a nascent replenishing fruit. Of course, this method would cause great damage to the fruit tree. The slightest carelessness could seriously affect the vitality of the nascent formation fruit tree. Wang Daoyuan only had 2 nascent formation fruit trees. One was the branch he had plucked from the 7-star secret realm, and the other was planted from the core of the nascent replenishing fruit. He didn't dare to mess around with this little bit of wealth. However, the ripening method could be used. The ripening method was much gentler and didn't cause much damage to the fruit tree. Of course, this batch of nascent formation fruit was useless. Calculating according to the time and the space, this batch of nascent formation fruit had already grown for more than 4,000 years. It wouldn't take long for it to ripen, so there was no need to spend too much effort to ripen it. As the time and the space of the Ling beads sped up, Wang Daoyuan didn't need to waste time on these secret arts. On the other hand, he could try them on the clan's side. A secret art that could shorten the time it took for Ling plants to ripen was very valuable to the clan. It was equivalent to doubling the value of a high-grade Ling field. Of this Ling plant farmer inheritance, the parts of rank 4 and below could be placed in the clan's scripture tower for the Ling plant farmer to practice. As for the parts of rank 5 and above, the clan didn't have any use for them at the moment, so it was best to hide them first. Chapter 873. His avatar also took out the Earth Divine Lightning and Fire Divine Lightning. Wang Daoyuan carefully examined the 2 lightning arts. Previously, he had also deduced the 2 lightning arts using the incomplete manual. Now that he compared them, he realized that he was still far inferior to Divine 5 Thunder. After all, Divine 5 Thunder had cultivated to the mighty figure realm. Before he moved to the central region of the Chenyuan world, the 5 Thunder sect had existed for many years. These 2 Dharma spells should have been passed down for a long time and had been improved by countless disciples. Their power was not something he could casually deduce. In the family, there were many cultivators with the earth and fire attributes. Even the upper echelons of the family had the 3rd brother, Wang Daochong, Wang Mingchen, and Wang Dezhao. Although these 2 lightning arts were not as powerful as the 10th Water Divine Lightning, they were still stronger than the 9th Water Divine Lightning that the Zhao family cultivated blindly. If a member of the family cultivated these 2 lightning arts, even if he was not very talented, he could become a 2nd or 3rd-rate Golden Core cultivator when he reached the late-stage Golden Core realm. The first 6 levels of these 2 lightning arts naturally had to be placed in the family's hidden scripture block. The 7th to 9th levels had to be kept strictly confidential. They could only be cultivated with the approval of the upper echelons of the family. Previously, on the Myriad Beast Island, the White Tiger Hallmaster had said that the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts was all-encompassing and disdained to compete with the Tai Sword sect for the position of the #1 sword cultivation sect. In the beginning, Wang Daoyuan thought that they were bragging. Now, it seemed that they were telling the truth. Many of the sword cultivation Dharma spells and mystic arts in the inheritance were indeed much stronger than those of the Tai Sword sect. In particular, the sword array Dharma spells were more brilliant than those of the Tai Sword sect. Wang Daoyuan did not need to cultivate any sword cultivation Dharma spells for the time being. He simply let his avatar take a look and categorize them. He mainly looked at the research related to divine powers. He had previously obtained a divine power essence from Zhong and benefited greatly. It was thanks to the divine power essence that he was able to comprehend lesser divine powers. If the things that were passed down had such an effect, the complete inheritance would naturally be more brilliant. His avatar flipped through it for a long time and indeed found a mystic art related to divine powers. It also contained the divine power essence and was much more complete than Zhong Zhenyang's book. Zhong Zhenyang's book only contained the method to comprehend the divine ability. Other than that, there was nothing special about it. This was a complete essence of divine powers. It recorded in detail the experiences of generations of patriarchs in the Valley of Beasts when they used the essence of divine powers to awaken lesser divine powers. Later on, there was also how these small divine abilities became stronger step by step. This was extremely valuable. It wasn't enough to just comprehend a divine ability. One had to constantly increase its power. Divine abilities of a single attribute generally had fewer variations. For example, the water manipulation divine ability only increased one's control and power. A slightly more complicated divine ability, such as Zhong Zhenyang's, had to be combined with an escape technique. It recorded the methods of the ancestors of the Valley of Beasts to increase the power and control of their divine arts, as well as their own understandings. This was a priceless treasure for any cultivator with divine abilities. This secret technique couldn't be revealed casually. Only cultivators of the clan who had comprehended a divine ability could cultivate it. Among the divine abilities and secret arts, there were also records related to the Violet Palace phenomenon. The cultivators of the Valley of Beasts had thoroughly researched the Violet Palace phenomenon and divine abilities. Based on their research, they deduced that the Violet Palace phenomenon was formed by the condensation of laws. For example, the 12th Uncle's Mystic Dragon phenomenon was formed by the condensation of all the laws related to the Mystic Dragon. When one opened the Violet Palace, one's soul would undergo a qualitative change. This was also the beginning of a cultivator's contact with laws. From then on, the cultivator would be noticed by the heavenly Tao. In the future, when one broke through to the next realm, one would encounter a lightning tribulation. The Violet Palace phenomenon was formed by the condensation of the laws during the breakthrough. As for what kind of Violet Palace phenomenon it was related to one's bloodline cultivation technique and the things one came into contact with. For example, Wang Daojian's Sword of Origin Restoration was mainly due to the cultivation of the Sword of Origin Restoration. Wang Mingqian's Vermilion Bird phenomenon was due to the influence of his Vermilion Bird bloodline. The 12th Uncle's Mystic Dragon was related to both his cultivation technique and bloodline. There was also the things one came into contact with. In the book, it was mentioned that there was a founder of the Valley of Beasts whose father obtained a spirit fire. He had been in contact with spirit fire since he was young. In the end, when he opened the Violet Palace phenomenon was also a spirit fire. Moreover, it was exactly the same as the spirit fire his father obtained. In the Vermilion Bird Hallmaster's comprehension, it was also mentioned that before he formed his core, the sect master and the various elders often let him come into contact with flames related to the phoenix. It seemed that coming into contact with these things could increase the probability of awakening the Nanmingli fire. This made things easier. Wang Daoyuan still had the Red Luan's Nirvana flame. This flame had been hidden in the Vermilion Bird phenomenon. When the 5 elements divine beasts fused into Yinglong, this Nirvana flame was naturally in Yinglong's body. The Red Luan's Nirvana flame was only useful when executing the Nirvana mystic technique. It was not of much use normally, so Wang Daoyuan did not take it out. Now, he could take it out and give it to Wang Mingqian temporarily. Although the Red Luan was not a Vermilion Bird, they both belonged to the Phoenix clan. Most of the laws were the same, so the two flames naturally had many similarities. In the Valley of Beasts, there was a Purple Palace phenomenon Grandmaster who was a 5 elements divine beast. He had a deep understanding of the Purple Palace phenomenon. According to him, the Purple Palace phenomenon, monster beast and divine beast phenomenon, were very similar to souls. Both of them carried all the laws of the monster beast or divine beast. He researched deeply in this aspect and combined some methods to strengthen the soul to create a secret technique to strengthen the Purple Palace phenomenon of beasts. Generally, using the blood essence of similar monster beasts and treasures to strengthen the soul could strengthen the Purple Palace phenomenon. It was also very useful for awakening lesser abilities. In addition, this Grandmaster continued to deduce this secret technique and created a new one. Using the soul of a monster beast and the blood essence of similar monster beasts, it was possible to condense an artificial Purple Palace phenomenon for a cultivator who did not have a Purple Palace phenomenon. The value of a divine beast or a half-step divine beast was much higher than a cultivator who did not have a Purple Palace phenomenon. Therefore, after this secret technique was created, it was only used a few times and was not popularized. After that, this Grandmaster did not continue to deduce this secret technique. According to the records, cultivators who had an artificial Purple Palace phenomenon did not have any abnormalities after that. It was just that the Purple Palace phenomenon was relatively weak and could not be compared to a natural phenomenon of the same kind. Of course, there were also examples of failure. According to the experience of that senior, the Purple Palace phenomenon was best suited to the cultivator's situation. He speculated which Purple Palace phenomenon was most likely to be awakened and used the soul of a similar monster beast to condense the Purple Palace phenomenon. The Valley of Beasts was a big family and had many talented disciples. They did not need this secret technique. However, it was still very valuable to the Wang family. The Wang family only had about 700 years of history. There were very few people who had the potential to break through to the Golden Core realm. For example, second brother Wang Daoxing, little uncle Wang Shouja, Zhao Liang, and eighth sister Wang Daoshu did not have a Purple Palace phenomenon. They were also very valuable to the family. Now they were already over 300 years old. If they could not form their core, they would only have about 100 years of life left. Therefore, Wang Daoyuan had always planned to help them form their core. However, if they formed their core without a Purple Palace phenomenon, they would only be at the bottom of the Golden Core realm. If he could add a Purple Palace phenomenon to them and cultivate a few powerful Dharma spells, they would be a decent Golden Core realm cultivator. After all, this secret technique involved the Purple Palace. He could not test it on his own family. None of his existing clones were suitable to use this secret technique. However, Cui Ming, who he met in the Blood Demon Ridge when he was traveling in the southern wasteland, was very suitable. He was at the Purple Palace realm and did not have a Purple Palace phenomenon. After he took out his divided soul, he had been doing odd jobs in the Spirit Pearl space. It was not bad to take it out now. An artificial Purple Palace phenomenon only needed a rank 3 monster beast. Cui Ming was an ice-type monster beast, so he had to find one. Wang Daoyuan sent a few letters to Wang Daojian, asking him to find a living rank 3 ice-type monster beast through Blood Shadow's channels. Ice-type monster beasts were not common, but it depended on who was looking for them. The next day, Wang Daojian arrived at the Jade Spring Peak with a middle-grade 3rd rank ice attribute tortoise. Chapter 874. Wang Daojian had been cultivating in Qingli City for the past few years. With the new cultivation technique and Wang Daoyuan's copy of the origin returning sword diagram, he had made great progress. Not only had his cultivation improved, but he was also not far from the mid-stage Golden Core realm. Even the killing intent on his body had increased by quite a bit. Wang Daoyuan smiled. "We haven't seen each other in the past few years. Your cultivation has improved quite a bit." Wang Daojian waved his hand. "Seventh brother, don't make fun of me. I can't compare to you at all. However, second brother's eldest grandson, Wang Digong, is truly a rare genius. I told him to cultivate the sword cultivation technique of the Tai sword sect, and he's making great progress. He's already at the peak of the Foundation establishment realm. If he wasn't worried that the Violet Palace phenomenon would be too weak, he would have already tried to establish his Violet Palace. It's just that his sword style is sly, so the sword cultivation technique I gave him isn't very suitable." After hearing this, Wang Daoyuan had his clone copy a thin beast skin book. Then, he handed the book to Wang Daojian. "This is a shadow sword art that I just obtained not long ago. It mainly cultivates the sly sword intent. It's perfect for Digong to cultivate. This cultivation technique can be cultivated to the peak of the golden core realm. After he forms his core, I'll give him more advanced content. Wang Daojian took the beast skin book. I thank seventh brother on behalf of Digong. You must have something important to do with this ice tortoise, so I won't disturb you any further. Goodbye. After he left, Wang Daoyuan began to clean up the ice tortoise. The man-made Violet Palace phenomenon had to be paid special attention to from the moment he killed the demon beast. The soul couldn't be damaged in the slightest, and it couldn't have too much resentment. Otherwise the secret technique would fail. Wang Daoyuan took out a soul-capturing bottle and used the white tiger sky-shaking roar to knock the ice tortoise unconscious. He then used an evil technique to extract its soul and placed it in the soul-capturing bottle. Then, he extracted the blood from its body and refined it into blood essence. After the ice tortoise lost its soul, it also lost control of its body and returned to its original size. The ice tortoise was over 30 meters long. The amount of blood extracted was close to 5,000 kilograms. After refining it, there was still over 1,000 kilograms of essence blood left. There was also a trace of aura similar to the black ice tortoises in the blood. It should also have a bit of the black tortoise's bloodline, but it was almost useless. The essence blood itself was the essence of blood. It was already very pure, so there was no need to further process it. The main difficulty lay in dealing with the soul. One had to erase its consciousness and all its instincts while ensuring that the soul was not damaged. Even Wang Daoyuan, a Yuanian cultivator, found it rather troublesome. After all, the Purple Mansion anomaly was only formed from the condensation of laws. His soul would disappear sooner or later. In the end, only the ice tortoise's natural laws would remain. If he kept his consciousness and instincts now, there would be a lot of trouble when he fused with them in the future. In order to increase the success rate, Wang Daoyuan even fused a split soul into Cui Ming's soul. When Cui Ming was performing the secret technique, both of them would be able to communicate with each other. This was to prevent Cui Ming from not cooperating properly when he was in a muddle-headed state. He took out the divided soul in Ruan Chang's body to prevent the clone from developing its own consciousness. After dealing with all this, the ice tortoise's soul was extremely weak and could dissipate at any time. Wang Daoyuan sent the soul into Cui Ming's sea of consciousness with his divine consciousness. At the same time, he sensed the clone's panoramic view. Both of them cooperated seamlessly. Soon, the soul entered the sea of consciousness. Cui Ming's divine consciousness took the soul and guided it into his purple mansion. Then, Cui Ming consumed a few drops of the seven-leaf ghost face flower dew. He performed the secret technique and fused his soul with the ice tortoise's soul. The ice tortoise's soul no longer had any consciousness or instincts. Even after fusing with it, it could only be used as nourishment. It would not affect Cui Ming's soul at all. After fusing with the soul, Cui Ming immediately performed the secret technique to separate the ice tortoise's soul and find the corresponding laws from the soul. During the process of transforming the soul into a divine soul, due to various reasons, he would occasionally sense the power of laws. The Purple Mansion anomaly was only the external manifestation of these laws. The most important thing was whether he could sense them. It could be said that the Purple Mansion anomaly was the key to comprehending the laws. Those without the Purple Mansion anomaly would not be able to sense the power of laws due to insufficient talent or weak cultivation techniques. They also did not have the key to comprehending the laws. If they wanted to comprehend the power of laws, they could only rely on luck. Even if a golden core cultivator demonstrated it, it would be difficult for them to comprehend the power of laws. This secret technique was to fuse the power of laws that he was most likely to sense into his soul, making it easier for him to sense the power of laws. After the ice tortoise's soul fused with Cui Ming's soul, Cui Ming entered a meditative state. At this time, he could not be disturbed by anything. Even putting it into the spirit pearl space might cause him to fail on the verge of success. Wang Daoyuan completely activated the formation in the cave abode. Then, he left the underground cave abode and went to the cave abode on the mountain to meditate. 3 days later, an extremely pure snow-white ball of spirit energy appeared above the earth fire room. After the ball of spirit energy circled a few times, it turned into an ice tortoise and fell into the earth fire room. Wang Daoyuan immediately flew into the earth fire room. He took out the ice tortoise's blood essence and fed it to Cui Ming. After all, This man-made anomaly did not appear when the purple mansion was formed. It was very unstable now. He still needed to use the ice tortoise's blood essence to nourish the anomaly and stabilize it. Cui Ming consumed more than 50 kilograms of blood essence before the anomaly was completely stabilized. Of course, compared to the natural purple mansion anomaly, it was still a little lacking. It was already very good to be able to reach this step. At least, he had the key to comprehend the power of laws. After putting Cui Ming's clone into the spirit pearl space, he flew directly to the Green Willow province. Blackie's pack had already moved over. A large pack of wolves patrolled the shore of the lake. When they encountered aquatic monsters, they would attack together. Wang Daoyuan had already ordered Yun Yi and Wang Minglong to come here through his clone, the Grey Rock. These two guys were bullying those aquatic monsters in the lake and did not show their faces at all. He did not care about these guys. He went directly to the Green Willow secret territory, where his second brother, Wang Daoxing, was in seclusion. At this time, he had a dispirited look on his face. Wang Daoyuan transmitted a message to him. He quickly opened the cave abode. At this time, his cultivation was already at the peak of the Purple Mansion realm. Wang Daoyuan asked, "Second brother, your cultivation is improving very quickly. You've already reached the peak of the Purple Mansion realm. Why are you still frowning?" Wang Daoxing sighed. Even Wang Dezhao, this grandson of a cultivator, has already formed his core, and it's a 7-inch golden core. As his second grandfather, I still don't have a clue. It's said that without a Purple Mansion anomaly, it's difficult to break through to the golden core realm. It seems that I have no hope in this lifetime. Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, Wang Dezhao finally stopped delaying. A 7-inch golden core has already surpassed the 12th uncle. If it was in the past, it would have taken a lot of effort to form your core. But now, I've obtained a secret technique that can allow you to have a Purple Mansion anomaly. As long as you have a Purple Mansion anomaly, comprehending the power of laws will be easy. Hearing this, Wang Daoxing was very excited. Seventh brother, tell me what secret technique it is. I'll definitely cultivate it well. I'm willing to pay any price. Wang Daoyuan didn't immediately tell him the man-made Purple Mansion anomaly secret technique. I'll test you first to see what kind of Purple Mansion anomaly you're most likely to awaken. Relax your soul. No matter what I do, don't resist. Wang Daoxing nodded. Wang Daoyuan used the hypnotic technique that came with the secret technique. Wang Daoxing fell into a deep sleep and fell into a dream. The Purple Mansion anomaly that was most likely to appear would appear in his dream. Half a day later, Wang Daoxing woke up. Second brother, what did you dream of? I was being chased by a golden-eyed jade tiger. The golden-eyed jade tiger also had the bloodline of the white tiger. However, its bloodline was relatively thin, and it was far from being considered a half-divine beast. Its status was equivalent to that of an ordinary Hua dragon among the dragon species. The level of this anomaly was about the same as the third brother's fire-wing quail. Wang Daoyuan nodded. This golden-eyed jade tiger will be your Purple Mansion anomaly in the future. Wait here. I'll go prepare and create a golden-eyed jade tiger anomaly for you. Chapter 875. With that, Wang Daoyuan left the secret realm and sent a message to Wang Daojian, asking him to find a high-grade Tier 3 golden-eyed jade tiger. 2 days later, Wang Daojian delivered a high-grade Tier 3 golden-eyed jade tiger. He was curious. Seventh brother, I'm curious. With your current cultivation base, Tier 4 demonic beasts are useless to you. What use do you have for these Tier 3 demonic beasts? Wang Daoyuan smiled. This isn't a secret. I obtained a man-made Violet Palace avatar secret technique, and I want to create one for second brother. Previously, I tested second brother with a secret technique, and he's most suited to awaken the golden-eyed jade tiger avatar. Wang Daojian was shocked. You can even create a Violet Palace avatar? I tested it on the ice turtle earlier, and it's not bad. It's just slightly inferior to a natural Violet Palace avatar, but it's enough to help you comprehend the laws. In that case, won't all the Violet Palace realm cultivators in our Wang clan have a chance to form their cores? Wang Daoyuan nodded. If it weren't for the fact that the clan can have a few more golden core cultivators, I wouldn't have bothered to put in so much effort. I still have to deal with the golden-eyed jade tiger. You can go ahead. After Wang Daojian left, Wang Daoyuan began to deal with the golden-eyed jade tiger. There was no difference in the way he dealt with it. He had already taught Wang Daoxing the secret technique of fusing the demonic beast's soul and separating it into the laws. After dealing with it, Wang Daoyuan returned to his cave abode. Wang Daoxing saw him enter, and his face was filled with excitement. "Seventh brother, I'm ready." Wang Daoyuan gave him a dozen drops of 7-leaf ghost face flowery dew. "Drink this. I'll send the golden-eyed jade tiger's soul into your sea of consciousness. This soul is already extremely weak, and the slightest movement might cause it to collapse. During this process, you must not have any thoughts of resisting. After the soul enters your sea of consciousness, you must use your divine sense to receive it and merge it into your own soul. Then use a secret technique to separate the soul. You don't have to worry too much. Even if you fail, there won't be any serious consequences. I'll get Daojian to send another golden-eyed jade tiger over." After both of them were ready, Wang Daoyuan took out the golden-eyed jade tiger's soul from the soul-capturing bottle and sent it into Wang Daoxing's knowledge sea with his spiritual sense. Wang Daoxing also used the power of his spiritual sense to receive the soul. The handover process was very smooth, and no problems were found. As for the rest, he could only rely on himself. Wang Daoyuan activated all the defensive formations in the cave to prevent him from being disturbed. Then, he left Wang Daoxing's cave abode and stood guard outside. 3 days later, an extremely pure silver ball of spiritual energy appeared outside Wang Daoxing's cave. A moment later, this mass of spiritual energy turned into a fierce tiger. Its eyes glowed with a golden light, and the fur on its body was like white jade. It was the golden-eyed jade tiger. The tiger circled the cave abode for a few breaths of time before plunging into the cave abode. The array formation was unable to stop it at all. The golden-eyed jade tiger's blood essence had already been given to Wang Daoxing, and the method to nurture the Violet Palace manifestation had also been given to him. Wang Daoyuan didn't need to get involved. He could just wait for him to come out of seclusion. Half a day later, Wang Daoxing opened the door to the cave abode. His face was filled with joy. "Seventh brother, I really have a Violet Palace manifestation." Then, a purple light flickered between his eyebrows, and a 3-inch-long golden-eyed jade tiger appeared above his head. Then, a foot-long golden sword phantom appeared in his hand. This phantom clearly contained fluctuations similar to the power of law. It was already able to imitate the power of the metal element. My mind was completely focused on the Violet Palace manifestation, and I didn't think about the power of law. But when the Violet Palace manifestation appeared, I suddenly felt the power of the metal element. "Can I form my core now?" Wang Daoyuan didn't expect that there would be such a benefit to forming an artificial Violet Palace manifestation at the peak of the Violet Palace realm. The examples recorded in the secret technique were all for early Violet Palace realm cultivators. Early Violet Palace realm cultivators weren't able to comprehend the power of law, so such a situation had never occurred. Perhaps the senior who created this secret technique didn't know that forming a Violet Palace realm manifestation at the peak of the Violet Palace realm would have such an effect. If that was really the case, he would wait for his clansmen to reach the peak of the Violet Palace realm before forming a Violet Palace manifestation for them. He could take advantage of this opportunity to comprehend the power of law and save time. It wasn't strange for cultivators with poor perception to be stuck at the peak of the Violet Palace realm for decades or even centuries. It was a pleasant surprise to be able to save time. Wang Daoyuan had his clone copy a cultivation technique manual. He took out the space and handed it to Wang Daoxing. "The cultivation technique you're currently cultivating is too weak. Your potential for forming your core is too low. This is the White Tiger Sword Codex. It's very suitable for your golden-eyed jade tiger manifestation. You can change your cultivation technique first. After all, it's only a matter of a few years. You still have more than 20 years to reach 400 years old. There's no need to rush. Even if you're 400 years old and your blood essence declines, the clan has enough resources to replenish it. After you're done cultivating the cultivation technique, remember to hand it over to the Jade Spring Peak's hidden scripture block or the Clear Glass City's Imperial Study Room." Wang Daoxing's spirit root talent wasn't weak. It was comparable to Wang Mingshan's. They both had 3 spirit roots. His main spirit root was more than 7 inches long. If his cultivation technique wasn't too weak, it wouldn't be difficult for him to awaken a half-divine beast manifestation. He had suffered enough due to his cultivation technique being too weak. No one knew better than him the importance of strengthening one's foundation. Wang Daoxing nodded. Then I'll change my cultivation technique first. The cultivation technique I was cultivating previously caused me to be in trouble. It's enough to suffer once. I don't want to suffer again. Wang Daoyuan left Green Willow Province and returned to the Jade Spring Peak. His uncle Wang Shouja, Zhao Liang, and his eighth sister Wang Daoshu were also in urgent need of forming their core to extend their lifespans. After returning to the Jade Spring Peak, he scanned the area with his divine perception and found that the three of them were all there. Wang Daoyuan sent them a message and asked them to come to his underground cave abode. After the three of them arrived, Wang Daoyuan said, I obtained a secret technique to condense a purple mansion manifestation. Second brother already has a purple mansion manifestation. He can form his core anytime now. It's just that his previous cultivation technique was too weak. He needs to change his cultivation technique first. Hearing this, the three of them couldn't believe it. His uncle asked, There's such a technique? Does that mean the three of us can also condense a purple mansion manifestation? Wang Daoyuan nodded. Of course. I asked you to come over so that you can be prepared. After second brother condensed his purple mansion manifestation, he also comprehended the power of laws. It's best if you cultivate to the peak of the purple mansion realm. Then you can save a few decades of time to comprehend the laws. It's best to change your cultivation technique first to avoid trouble in the future. Zhao Liang's cultivation technique was given to him by Master. There's no need for him to change his cultivation technique. Uncle cultivates the overturned sea art. There's also no need for him to change his cultivation technique. Eighth sister's cultivation technique is rather weak. It's better for her to change her cultivation technique. I'll use a secret technique to test what kind of purple mansion manifestation you're most likely to awaken. If you cultivate the corresponding cultivation technique, you'll be able to save a lot of cultivation techniques. The three of them naturally had no objections. Wang Daoyuan used a secret technique on eighth sister, and she quickly fell into a deep sleep. Half a day later, the two of them woke up. Wang Daoyuan asked, What did you dream of? Eighth sister replied, A sparrow with a long jade-green tail. She was a cultivator with 3 spiritual roots. Her main spiritual root was a 5-inch wood-type spiritual root. Her innate talent wasn't bad, but it could only be considered average. Previously, the clan didn't have any good wood-type cultivation techniques. Otherwise, she might have been able to awaken a purple mansion manifestation. Wang Daoyuan took out a beast skin book from his spiritual pearl. That should be the jade sparrow. This is a wood-type cultivation technique called the jade feather art. It's quite suitable for you to cultivate. Hurry up and reach the peak of the purple mansion realm as soon as possible. The three of them had just reached the late-stage purple mansion realm, and they had only reached this stage after spending a large amount of resources. If it weren't for the fact that the Wang clan was now so wealthy, they wouldn't have any hope of reaching the late-stage purple mansion realm. Of course, their value was also extremely high. Wang Shouja was now a 4th-grade high-grade formation master, and Zhao Liang was a 4th-grade mid-grade tool refiner. Eighth sister was extremely talented in the path of spirit chef. Although spirit chefs weren't ranked, her attainments weren't low. Even if the three of them were placed in a place like the Divine Weapon Pavilion, the sect would definitely do their best to help them reach the core formation stage. Chapter 876. After giving some instructions, the three of them left the cave abode. His clone sorted through the inheritance in the spirit pearl space and discovered the refinement methods of 2 special Dharma artifacts. He had seen these 2 Dharma artifacts at the Blood Shadow headquarters before. They were the Pure Yang Pearl and the Moon Pearl. The Pure Yang Pearl used the soul of a golden crow's bloodline as the source of Yang energy, while the Moon Pearl used the Moon Pearl as the source of Yin energy. With these 2 items, he could plant purple cloud wood in the mystic realm. To plant purple cloud wood in the outside world, the environmental requirements were extremely high. All kinds of arrays had to be set up. The Wang family's main resources were used on their clansmen. Of course, the forces in Beiyuan Xiuxian that had the ability to plant purple cloud wood were rarely willing to do so in the outside world. After all, the purple chi in the outside world depended on the sun and moon. There was only purple chi in the morning. Even with the array, it would take a few thousand years for the purple cloud wood to grow a purple cloud wood core. The most reliable place was the mystic realm. With these two treasures in the mystic realm, they could continuously provide purple chi. Even if the amount of purple chi was small, it could be sustained. There was a limit to how much purple chi the purple cloud wood core could absorb. No matter how much purple chi there was, it could not be absorbed in a short period of time. A large amount of purple chi that appeared in an instant was far inferior to a small amount of continuous purple chi. According to the records in the book, the 4th tier upper grade pure yang pearl and moonlight pearl could allow the purple cloud wood to grow a purple cloud wood core within 3,000 years. The 5th grade pure yang pearl could shorten this time to 2,000 years. Although the spirit pearl space could also produce purple cloud wood, Wang Daoyuan could not stay with the family forever. It was better to leave some foundation for the family. This was to prevent the family from declining when he traveled the Qianyuan world in the future. Wang Daoyuan wanted to refine these two Dharma artifacts, but he had been busy, so it was delayed. Now that his clone had found the refinement methods for these two Dharma artifacts, he had nothing urgent to do. It was just the right time to refine them. The Valley of Beasts refinement techniques were obviously much more advanced than the Blood Shadows. They did not need the soul of a Golden Crow's bloodline demon or the Moon Pearl. They only needed the pure yin and yang energy. Wang Daoyuan naturally did not lack such things. Scarlet Yang True Fire and Gue Water Death Flame would do. As for the carrier, it would be best to choose a Pseudo-Dragon Ball. Wang Daoyuan still had quite a few rank 4 Pseudo-Dragon Pearls in his possession. Back when he left Beiyuan, he had killed a peak rank 4 Jade-Scaled Jiao Dragon. Later on, along the way out to sea, although they didn't encounter many dragon species, they still killed a few. After returning to Beiyuan, he slaughtered many rank 4 monsters. He already had more than 10 tier 4 pseudo-dragon balls in his possession. Among them, there were 2 peak tier 4 pseudo-dragon balls, while the rest were all high-grade tier 4. Currently, he had no use for the tier 4 magic tool, so he had been keeping it in his possession. To refine the pure yang bead, it would be best to use the fire attribute pseudo-dragon balls, and it would be best to use the water attribute pseudo-dragon balls for the moon essence pearl. The 2 pseudo-dragon balls should be of the same grade. Currently, there were 2 peak rank 4 pseudo-dragon balls, one of which was of the wood attribute and the other of which was of the water attribute. The wood attribute pseudo-dragon balls were not suitable for refining the pure yang bead. Wang Daoyuan could only settle for the next best thing, which was to refine the high-grade tier 4 pseudo-dragon balls. With his current means, using high-grade tier 4 materials to refine a low-grade tier 5 magic tool was not too much of a problem. Taking out 1 water and 1 fire, 2 high-grade tier 4 pseudo-dragon balls, he began to refine according to the recorded refining method. The inheritance of a big force had this advantage. The methods used by the ancestors of the previous generations to refine this kind of magic tool were also completely recorded. Wang Daoyuan could now refer to the refining methods of the predecessors, and the success rate could be slightly higher. Before starting to refine, he first separated the pseudo-spirit fire of the Scarlet Yang True Fire and Gue Water Death Flame from the space of the Spirit Pearl. Although the Spirit Fire would lose a part of its energy, with the essence of the 5 elements, it was not a big problem. After being nurtured in the space of the Spirit Pearl for half a year, the 2 pseudo-spirit fire turned into Spirit Fire. Wang Daoyuan also began to refine the pure yang bead and the moon essence pearl. The main reason for this was that the materials were precious, and the refining difficulty was not high. In half a month, the 2 magic tools were completed, and they were both low-grade tier 5 magic tools. Then, he left the Jade Spring Peak and headed to the 5 Elements Mystery Realm. Planting the purple cloud would require a large area. The Green Willow Mystery Realm had greater potential for development, and there were more precious spirit items. Using a large area to plant the purple cloud wood was too much of a loss. Moreover, the area needed to plant the purple cloud wood did not need to be too big, so that the purple gas would not be too dispersed. The Wang family did not have any smaller mystery realms, so they could only make do with this. When he arrived outside the 5 Elements Mystery Realm, it was very busy. Flying boats constantly took off from nearby. The flying boats carried many ordinary clansmen and headed north. The only property of the Wang family there was Mount Serene. It seemed that the family's plan to relocate the ordinary clansmen had already begun. The clansmen on the flying boats did not feel fear. Instead, they were somewhat excited. The family had been relocating to the Five Elements Mystery Realm for nearly 300 years, and the mortals had already reproduced for about 20 generations. The Five Elements Mystery Realm was only so big, and about half of the land was not suitable for ordinary people to live in. Most of the remaining land would be turned into spirit fields. A small part would be turned into farmland, so the living space of the clansmen would definitely be extremely small. Now that they could move out and live in a wider place, they were naturally very happy. After entering the Five Elements Mystery Realm, a few Zifu realm cultivators were here to oversee the relocation of the clansmen. Seeing Wang Daoyuan arrive, they all bowed. Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, "You guys can do your own things. Don't worry about me." At this moment, the concentration of spirit energy in the space of the Spirit Pearl was low-grade Tier 4. It was not too far away from mid-grade Tier 4. However, the core of the Five Elements Mystery Realm was the Five Elements Heaven Suppression Seal, which was only a mid-grade Tier 4 magic artifact. If the Heaven Suppression Seal did not advance, the Spirit Vein would not advance either. Wang Daoyuan did not dare to rashly use the Heaven Suppression Seal to avoid implicating the entire Mystery Realm. In any case, the Tier 4 Mystery Realm was already enough for the family, especially for cultivating the Purple Cloud Wood. It was more than enough. There was no need to take this risk. Moreover, the Five Elements Mystery Realm was a semi-natural mystery realm. With the recovery of spirit energy in the Heaven/Mountain range, the space of this mystery realm would slowly expand. Its potential was still not bad. Wang Daoyuan flew to the crater of the volcano in the center of the southern fire region. This was the place with the densest fire spirit energy in the entire mystery realm. If the pure Yang Pearl was placed here, it could also absorb more fire spirit energy. He took out a 9-inch and 9-centimeter reddish gold pearl and placed it right above the crater. The pearl was engraved with floating patterns and automatically floated in the air. As soon as the pure Yang Pearl appeared, a large amount of fire spirit energy surged towards it. After the pearl absorbed the fire spirit energy, it emitted a reddish gold light. Then, he flew to the center of the northern water region. Below it was a low-grade Tier 4 spirit spring. This was the place with the densest water spirit energy. It was the most suitable place to place the moon pearl. He took out a jade-white pearl and placed it in the air. After the moon pearl absorbed the water spirit energy, it emitted a jade-white light that was very similar to moonlight. At this moment, the two types of light converged in the central region. A small amount of purple qi appeared here. As time passed, more and more purple qi appeared. When the Zifu disciples in the mystery realm saw the purple qi, they all had excited looks on their faces. This purple qi was able to directly increase one's cultivation level. It was extremely useful to Zifu disciples. Wang Daoyuan flew to the central region, then took out several hundred violet cloud tree saplings from the space within the soul pearl. An early-stage Zifu disciple walked over and clasped his hands. "My great-grandson, Wang Tunguen, is here on the orders of the clan leader to guard the Five Elements Mystery Realm. Dare I ask, seventh great-grandfather, are you planning to plant violet cloud trees in this mystery realm?" Wang Tunguen was the great-great-grandson of his sixth uncle, Wang Shofeng. He was a 3-spirit roots cultivator, and his main spirit root was a 7-inch and 9-centimeter spirit root. His innate talent was even slightly greater than Wang Mingshan's, and he was also a promising talent. Wang Daoyuan nodded. "Correct. I am indeed planning to plant violet cloud trees. The two low-grade Tier 5 magic treasures in the sky are meant to produce purple qi and grow violet cloud trees." Chapter 877. The Wang family had experienced several hundred years of development, and their clansmen had also grown to a considerable scale. Once the number of people increased, there would naturally be all kinds of internal problems. The Wang family was also showing signs of this. The biggest internal problem was that there were factions among Wang Shofeng's descendants. This faction had been guarding the Five Elements mystic realm for more than 300 years, and they had quite a number of people. Back then, Wang Shofeng had failed in his bid for the family's power and had been hidden away for decades. Later on, the Wang family developed the Five Elements mystery realm and sent Wang Shofeng and a few of his clansmen here. His descendants also took root here. The Wang family began to infiltrate Blood Shadow, and some of his descendants also joined Blood Shadow. Wang Dekong, who was in charge of the Shanbei branch, was Wang Shoufeng's great-grandson. However, the head of the Blood Shadow Mountain's northern branch was still Wang Daojian. Wang Shoufeng's faction didn't have much authority over there. The status of this lineage was mainly dependent on the Five Elements Mystery Realm. However, the people who truly held power in the Wang clan were still the same group of people back then. Needless to say, in the Yan Kingdom, this could only be passed down from father to son. There was no reason for it to be passed down to clansmen. They could fight for the position of patriarch, but the current patriarch was Wang Mingshan, and the next most competitive person was Wang Dezhao. Although Wang Shoufeng's clansmen had reached a certain scale, they still couldn't cause any big waves. Especially now that the family was still in the expansion period, there were too many resources to swallow, and there were no obvious conflicts between the clansmen, so the factions naturally could not cause trouble. When Wang Mingchen and the others migrated their clansmen, they also paid attention to breaking the barriers between the factions. While moving the clansmen of the Five Elements Mystery Realm to the Serene South Mountain, they also moved some clansmen from the vicinity of the Jade Spring Peak. It was impossible for any large family to be harmonious. It was inevitable that there would be factions. As long as it didn't harm the clan's interests, there was no need to be ruthless. However, some preparations still needed to be made. If the faction was allowed to grow, it would definitely cause a huge split in the family. Ever since the Wang clan obtained the Green Willow Secret Realm, the status of the Five Elements Secret Realm had plummeted. Now that Wang Daoyuan was cultivating the Purple Cloudwood here, it was needless to say how valuable it was. With such an important item in the Five Elements Mystery Realm, Wang Tunguen, as the manager of the Mystery Realm, would naturally have a higher status in the future. He raised his hands and said, "You don't need to do such a small thing. My great-grandson is also a ling plant farmer and is more than enough to plant purple cloud wood. Seventh great-grandfather, just leave these things to me." After Wang Daoyuan handed over some matters, he left the Five Elements Mystery Realm and returned to the Jade Spring Peak. In the past half a year, his clone had already sorted out the inheritances that he had obtained. He had already made 2 copies of the cultivation methods that were suitable for his clansmen to cultivate. One set was placed in Jade Spring Peak, and the other set was placed in the Imperial Study of Clear Glass City. After returning to Jade Spring Peak, he went straight to the Executive Hall. Wang Daoyuan was working here. Wang Daoyuan took out a universe ring and said, "This is the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts that I received. There are techniques, spells, pills, weapons, seal formations, and the inheritance of a spirit plant farmer. They can all cultivate to the peak of the 4th stage. As for the higher level of inheritance, it's better to wait until your clansmen cultivate to the peak of the Golden Core Realm before coming to me." Wang Mingshan took the interspatial ring and probed it with his divine senses. He was stunned. The Cosmos Ring was filled with beast skin books and jade slips. None of the previous inheritances of the Wang clan could compare to these. Of course, this was only part of it. These inheritances were all for his own clansmen to cultivate. He didn't take out the weaker inheritances at all. The inheritances left behind by the dozen or so Grand Ascension Realm Grandmasters in the Valley of Beasts, as well as all kinds of rare secret techniques, naturally couldn't be easily revealed. These things were the core inheritances of the Wang clan. Only the core members of the clan had the right to cultivate them. Among them was the complete true dragon body tempering technique that could be cultivated to the late Grand Ascension Realm. Then, he left Jade Spring Peak and headed to Clear Glass City. He came to the Imperial Study of the Imperial Palace. This was where Wang Mingchen usually handled official business. It was also where the Imperial Palace stored all kinds of books and records. At this time, Wang Mingchen was handling official business here. Wang Shui and Wang Daochang were also here to help. Seeing Wang Daoyuan come, Wang Mingchen hurriedly came over to pay his respects. Wang Daoyuan took out 2 universe rings. One was a 4th stage interspatial ring, and the other was a 5th stage interspatial ring. These are the inheritances of the Valley of Beasts that I sorted out. The things in the 5th stage interspatial ring are for our own people to cultivate. The 4th stage interspatial ring contains the inheritances collected by the Valley of Beasts. It's much more shallow than the Valley of Beasts' own inheritances. There are many rogue cultivators who serve the Yen Kingdom. These shallow inheritances are used to reward meritorious subjects. For those rogue cultivators, any of the inheritances here are priceless treasures. By the way, The Valley of Beasts also has the complete Fire Divine Thunder and Earth Divine Thunder. You can cultivate them when you have time. Wang Mingchen took the interspatial ring and smiled. Although there are many rogue cultivators who seek refuge in the Yen Kingdom, their cultivation has always been not high. Lu Yuan's cultivation is already the highest among them. Rogue cultivators only want two things. One is to improve their cultivation, and the other is to establish a clan. Now that Clear Glass County, Linhai County, and the future Serene South County will not be given to rogue cultivators, the attraction of establishing a clan is not enough. In terms of improving cultivation, we don't have enough Yin-Yang Purple Jade and Purple Cloud Wood Core. We can't give them to rogue cultivators. Now that we have these techniques, we should be able to attract many rogue cultivators to join us. I hope so. Our Wang clan's foundation is still too shallow. We don't have enough manpower to manage things. The original native clans of Clear Glass County have even shallower foundations than our Wang clan. Until now, there are only two Zifu clans, the Yang clan and the Wang clan. It's hopeless to count on them. The other clans added together have less people than our Wang clan. Although there are some talented cultivators, without the support of vast resources, they can only produce a few Zifu realm cultivators at most. Hopefully, these inheritances can attract a few rogue cultivators. Then, he took out the Red Luan Nirvana Fire from Yinglong's avatar. This is the Red Luan Nirvana Fire that your mother gave me. To me, it has no other use except for using the Nirvana secret technique to heal. I only used it once when I quelled the Southern Wasteland Demon Rebellion. I don't usually use it. It's also very beneficial for you to come into contact with spirit fires related to the Phoenix clan. Take it first. Wang Mingchen took out a small gourd and collected the flames. Many thanks, father. I definitely won't let you down. This gourd was his life-bound magic artifact. Its function was similar to the meteor fire controlling gourd, and it was also made by Adept Thunderflame. Wang Daoyuan waved his hand. No need to feel too burdened. Even without the minor divine ability of the Vermilion Flame, it's no big deal. Cultivators with heavenly spiritual roots will definitely have divine abilities. A mere spirit fire can only increase their battle prowess by a bit. Then Wang Daoyuan asked again. Sixth uncle's descendants are already showing signs of becoming part of a faction. What are your plans? Wang Shui sighed. It seems you've also noticed. Sixth brother made many contributions to the development of the elemental mystery realm. In order to guard against him, the clan didn't give him a chance to reach foundation establishment. He didn't have any complaints, and the clan's upper echelons didn't suppress his descendants either. However, it was inevitable that there would be some conflicts between the juniors. Sixth brother's descendants were ostracized in other places, so they couldn't help but form a group. The cultivators in the elemental mystery realm were also led by sixth brother's descendants. This faction has already been formed. They didn't do anything harmful to the clan, so it's not good to deal with them. After all, they also contributed a lot to the development of the elemental mystery realm. Wang Daoyuan nodded. I refined 2 magic artifacts in the elemental mystery realm. They can produce purple chi when used together, so I planted some purple cloud wood in the elemental mystery realm. The person in charge there is Wang Tun Gwen. He's quite talented. In the future, find a reason to promote him to the clan or the imperial court. Send another cultivator to look after the elemental mystery realm. The clan has enough businesses and territory. Separate sixth uncle's descendants and gradually distribute them to the various businesses. Those with talent must be treated equally and gradually eliminate the barriers. Chapter 878. They knew very well what the purple cloud tree meant to a clan. With it, the clan could nurture a large number of Zifu realm cultivators. Although the clan didn't lack such spiritual items now, they relied on the clan's upper echelons to help the other clansmen. This situation couldn't continue forever. The clan's upper echelons had led the clan step by step. They had deep feelings for the clan and would try their best to maintain the stability of the clan. As the clan's population swelled, factional conflicts were inevitable. With the suppression of the upper echelons, the internal conflicts wouldn't be too serious. But now that the upper echelons had high cultivation and had even passed away, they couldn't care about the trivial matters of the clan. The successors didn't have the feelings of the older generation's upper echelons. They themselves were from different factions. When doing things, they paid more attention to the interests of the faction and couldn't continue to help the other clansmen. Without the help of the upper echelons, those clansmen whose talent wasn't considered top-notch might not have spiritual items that could help them establish their Zifu. At that time, the clan might be divided. Now that they could plant the purple cloud tree on their own, there would be more opportunities in the future. It would more or less play a role in the future stability of the clan. Wang Daocheng asked, "How many purple cloud trees can you plant?" Wang Daoyuan took out a beast skin book and handed it to Wang Mingchen. Right now, there are only a little more than 100. However, the core of these two artifacts is spiritual fire. I separated a bit of flame from the spiritual fire I refined, and it's only a stage 3 spiritual fire now. Although the spiritual fire's potential isn't too great, it won't be a problem for it to grow to the peak of stage 4. At that time, it should be able to nurture over 1,000 purple cloud trees. With the two artifacts, the purple cloud trees will grow faster. With the current level, they can grow a purple cloud tree heart within 2,000 years. This is the refining method for the pure Yang Pearl and Moonlight Pearl. In the future, when we find suitable materials, we can refine more. There are many mystic realms in the Heaven/Mountain range. In the future, we should be able to find suitable places to plant the purple cloud trees. Wang Shui sighed. With these things, we don't have to worry about serious factional conflicts in the clan after we retire. While we still have time to manage things, we can try to mend the internal conflicts in the clan. In the future, we won't be able to manage things. Wang Daoyuan chuckled. 12th uncle, you don't have to be so pessimistic. For now, 6th uncle's branch can't cause any big trouble. As long as we scatter 6th uncle's cultivator descendants to different places, we won't have to worry about them ganging up on us. I've already thought of a way to solve this problem. If they really couldn't mend the gap, they could just take the path of enfeoffment. There were many territories in Shanbei. Only the Zhao family had bought a piece of land in the Sky-Zhan mountain range. If the internal strife was too intense, he would give the clan member who was in a good mood a title and let him establish a branch family in another place. This was called poisoning the outside world. It allowed them to use their ability to cause trouble to deal with the demons and other forces. It could also expand the living space of their clansmen. Kicking them out of the main branch can also be considered a punishment for them. It's also a warning to the other clansmen not to cause too much trouble. This was also a system of enfeoffment. Whether it was the dynasty in his previous life or the Zhou nation in this world, they had all implemented enfeoffment. Although it might weaken the family's strength, it was much better than internal strife. Moreover, the most basic structure of the immortal cultivation world was family. Every family had their own territory, which was in fact a small vassal state. Therefore, when a family developed to a certain extent, enfeoffment was inevitable. Of course, enfeoffment also had great benefits. Back then, the Zhou nation relied on the vassal states under it to gradually expand to the size of the current territory of the various countries. Its strength was close to the 4 top forces. Although it fell apart later, the Zhou nation passed on the conflict and did not have large-scale internal strife. Now, it was still a large force second only to the top forces. The reason why it did not advance further was that the Zhou family's inheritance was still lacking. After all, the ancestor of the Zhou family, Zhou Tianpeng, was only a direct disciple of the Valley of Beasts. When he escaped, it was impossible for him to bring a large number of inheritances. Relying on the cultivation techniques and dharma spells that he had mastered, he could not compare to the 4 top forces. Now, the countries that the Zhou nation had established were still under the orders of Emperor Zhou. Wang Daocheng smiled and said, "This method is not bad. There is a vast space for them to develop in the north of Shanbei and west of the Sky-Zhan mountain range. Those who like internal strife have some ability. Let them fight with other forces. In the future, when they don't have enough territory, they can expand to the East Sea. Even if there are no islands, use dharma spells to create islands for them and let them fight." Before he finished speaking, he took out a communication jade talisman and checked it. Then, his face revealed a look of ecstasy. Wang Daoyuan asked, "Third brother, what are you so happy about?" Wang Daocheng laughed and said, "One of my grandsons tested for a heavenly spirit root." Hearing this, everyone's face revealed a look of joy. Wang Shui was also very excited. Our family finally has a second heavenly spirit root cultivator. I have to hurry over and take a look. Wang Daoyuan instructed. Mingchen, you continue to deal with official matters. I will go to Jade Spring Mountain with your 12th uncle and 3rd uncle to take a look. The 3 of them boarded a flying boat and arrived at Jade Spring Mountain. A group of people gathered under a large pine tree by the Jade Dragon Spring. The 3 of them came under the large willow tree. Wang Mingshan was also among the crowd. At this time, he was holding a spirit testing disc and testing a little boy's spirit root. This little guy was quite handsome and looked a lot like 3rd brother Wang Daocheng. Being surrounded by so many people, he was not flustered at all and had a calm look. On the spirit testing disc, a 9-inch 3-meter-tall black light pillar appeared. There was no mistake, it was indeed a heavenly spirit root. The surrounding clansmen were also talking loudly. Some were congratulating him while others were envious. But this little guy was still as calm as ever, not moved in the slightest. Wang Daoyuan secretly nodded. Not only was his talent good, but his personality was also very calm. Such a junior was truly hard to come by. Dispersing the clansmen, he brought the little guy to the family's hall. He took out a thin beast skin book from the space of the spirit pearl and handed it to 3rd brother. This is the Valley of Beasts Black Tortoise Hall's core cultivation technique, the Black Tortoise Water Resistance Technique. It can be cultivated to the late stage of Great Ascension. I still have some cultivation techniques of the same level here. These things will be the core inheritance of our family in the future. This is part of the Qi refining and foundation establishment stages. When the little guy cultivates to the Qi refining stage, you can give him the cultivation technique. Right, what's the little guy's name? The little guy cupped his hands and said, Thank you, 7th great uncle. I don't have a proper name yet. My nickname is Erhu. This nickname had the characteristics of the Wang family. It was loud but not elegant enough. Wang Daocheng smiled and said, 7th brother, why don't you help him come up with a proper name? Wang Daoyuan hurriedly waved his hand. You, as his grandfather, should do it. I won't overstep my boundaries. According to our rules, if a clansman gives birth to a heavenly spirit root descendant, he will be rewarded with 100,000 contribution points. We can't treat him unfairly. Wang Daocheng nodded. Since he has a water-type heavenly spirit root, his name should be related to water. Let's call him Wang Delin. This proper name was the opposite of his nickname. It was elegant but not loud enough. Wang Shui carefully used his divine sense to examine the little guy. I feel that something is wrong. Mingchen also has a heavenly spirit root. But when he's not cultivating, his absorption of spirit qi is not as obvious as Delin's. This child can't have a water-type spirit body, right? Wang Daoyuan used his heaven-prying eye to examine him. This little guy's constitution was indeed not ordinary. The inheritance of the Valley of Beasts has a method to detect spirit bodies. Let me try it out. Although spirit bodies were rare, the Valley of Beasts was a sect that was established more than 200,000 years ago and had lasted for more than 100,000 years. There were still many of them. They had also created a few secret techniques to detect spirit bodies. They could detect if a cultivator had a spirit body at a young age. Wang Daoyuan took out a jade scroll and looked at it for a long time. A jade-colored light condensed in his hand and shone on Wang Delin's body. The light was instantly absorbed. A black light appeared on the little guy's body. There was also an intense fluctuation of water-type spirit qi. He really does have a water-type spirit body. Our Wang family has produced a peerless genius. If we nurture him well, it won't be a problem for him to form his core before he's 200 years old. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.